to live up to your expectations. Neither are you here to live up to mine. Yeah. I don't owe no one, no obligation. No one owe me none, so everything is fine, fine. I said I am that I am, I am, I am, I am.
Thanks for joining me today, everybody. My name is Chris Callahan with LoveWisdomFreedom.com, on YouTube at LoveWisdomFreedom93, and on Odyssey at Love Wisdom Freedom. Today's presentation is going to be our second installment of our presentation series called Natural Law Through the Ages, where we're going to explore the ideas and philosophy and science of natural law, natural rights, truth, freedom, morality, justice, and liberty through the words, writings, and music of various thinkers throughout the ages, really with the goal of uncovering or extracting the universal principles or underlying truths that are present within all these that we need to understand to help move humanity forward in consciousness. And today our presentation is going to be on one of reggae's most important figures, Peter Tosh. Now, Peter Tosh is most well known for his role as one of the founding members of the Wailers, along with Bob Marley and Bunny Livingston. But he also had a very successful solo career where he really focused on putting out a message of truth and freedom and really trying to uplift humanity with conscious lyrics and conscious music. And, you know, he was very steadfast and determined to stand in his principles on what was true. He understood what his rights were, and he wasn't going to let people infringe on him, and he was going to help point out the hypocrisies and the injustices that were taken out locally as well as throughout the world. You know, and he had the courage to stand up for his rights and to do what was right, and to stand firm in his principles. You know, they call him the Mystic Man, the Steppin' Razor, the Bush Doctor, and we're going to really explore through his music today really how well he understood these principles of natural law, right and wrong, and what our rights really are. And so I'd like to start with just a clip from what was the closest thing to an autobiography Peter Tosh ever was able to complete before he was taken out and not allowed to continue his mission here on this earth. Although thankfully through all the work that he put out, we're still able to learn from him today through his music as it continues to teach myself and hopefully others going forward here. And so this is from a documentary or a film called Red X, the Red X tape, Steppin' Razor, and just a little bit of an intro into Peter Tosh and his life.
The truth has been branded outlawed and illegal. It is dangerous to have the truth in your possession. You can be found guilty and sentenced to death.
Everybody wants to go up to heaven, I say. Nobody wants to die. Everybody wants to go up to heaven, I say. But none of them want to die. I don't know why. But ain't gonna be no peace till man gets equal rights and justice. Yeah, gotta get equal rights and justice. Oh, we need equal rights and justice.
So irrespective of what men want to invent or try to imitate, because they cannot create. You know, see, they're only trying to invent and researching and discovering destruction. But you know, so it was, so shall it be. And these are the last days.
Firing, shot, shot, shot. I'm coming in. firing, shot, no shot, no shot. Hot, hot, hot. Firing, 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 firing.
Reggae superstar Peter Tosh and another man known as Doctor were shot dead at the singer's Plymouth Avenue home at about 8:30 last night. 5 other persons, including popular JVC radio disc jockey Free Eye, were shot and wounded. According to the PIC, 3 gunmen traveling on motorcycles went to Tosh's residence and demanded money. Tosh and his guests were shot when they refused to comply with the demand. The gunmen escaped. The police have launched top-level investigations into the killing.
All right, so as you can see, Peter Tosh was very unapologetic. He was aggressive. He was confrontational, and he was courageous, and he was willing to stand for what he knew what was right. And he had the confidence that comes when you know for a fact that you are doing what's right because you're not in the wrong, because you've come to understand things like natural law and the true difference between right and wrong. And although it may have cost him his life at an early age in this physical realm, he set out on a mission to teach people right from wrong, teach people these principles to help uplift humanity and progress consciousness forward. And although he's not here today to continue to make more music for us to learn from, his music continues to teach people. And so he is continuing his mission, whether he's here in a physical body or not. And he will continue to affect change, because that's what happens when you set out to do the one great work. You understand these principles and you dedicate your life to helping to uplift people by teaching them, whether it be through presentations or music or whatever other form this can take. The one great work of helping to teach these principles can take any type of form that really the human can decide to do. And so before we dig into the specifics of Peter Tosh's work, I'd like to just define a few things again. This will be a review if you've watched my first presentation of Natural Law Through the Ages on Thomas Jefferson. But we're going to go through this each and every time so that it becomes common sense for everybody. And so the working definition for natural law is a set of universal, inherent, objective, non-man-made, eternal, and immutable conditions which govern the consequences of behaviors of beings with the capacity for understanding the difference between harmful and non-harmful behaviors. Basically, as beings that have the capacity to understand the difference between right and wrong, or harmful and non-harmful behaviors, we have the responsibility, and there are consequences for those choices and for those actions. If we choose to do the right things, we will generate the right results. If we choose to do the wrong things, we're going to generate the wrong results. And a simple definition, which I really appreciate from a dictionary of law, is just the rule of human action prescribed by the Creator and discoverable by the light of reason. And so it's the rule of human action. It is what controls our action. It is the one authority over our actions. It's prescribed by the Creator, meaning it's not man-made. It is part of nature, whatever you view that force as. And it's discoverable by the light of reason, because common sense can help us to understand, and we also have a conscience within us, which is our internal guide to understand these principles. So we don't even need to learn these externally. They are discoverable by reason. It's the mechanism in nature that provides us the consequences, whether those be good consequences or bad consequences. The result generates the result from each of our choices or our actions within this physical and spiritual plane. And really the whole goal of this is to come to an understanding of what is objectively right and objectively wrong. And so we'll define these things. So a right is any action that does not cause harm to another sentient being. So there's a few things that are required. There's an action. It does not cause harm. So we'll need to understand what those things are. So then a wrong is any action that does cause harm to another sentient being. And so for something to be wrong, there needs to be an action taken, there needs to be another sentient being involved, and there needs to be harm caused to that being as a result of that action. And then liberty then is the right or the freedom to choose any action that is right. So any action that doesn't cause harm. And now the rights that we have then are really, infinite. I mean, it'd be nearly impossible to try and define all of the different types of actions that we have a right to do. So it's best to understand these things, what they call apophatically or through the negative, by understanding what we do not have a right to take. And so let's understand what a wrong is, and that's any action that does cause harm. And so harm can be defined simply as these seven different actions. Now, all of these, I would argue, are theft of something that doesn't belong to you. So first is murder. That is the theft of another individual's life that does not belong to you, where you didn't have the right. So it's the initiation of violence, the initiation of force that results in the loss of another's life, where you don't have that right. Rape would be the taking of somebody's free will of their sexual association. Assault is taking away someone's free will to their own body and their own person. You have no right to just hurt somebody else's or assault somebody else's physical body. Theft is pretty obvious. We don't have a right to take what is not ours. Trespass is the theft of somebody's right to be in their own domicile, in their own peace, in their own safety, in their own space. Coercion is forcing someone to do any action against their will, so taking away their free will through either some sort of threat or some sort of violence. And deception is willfully lying. You take away somebody's right or free will to make an informed decision. So really, all of these are forms of theft. All of these are an action where we're taking something that does not belong to us. And now, if we can understand what these wrongs are, what these things are that don't belong to us, and we stop taking actions that do initiate harm, do take things that aren't ours because of the nature of them or the way that these systems or institutions are set up, then we will start to generate more of the right results. And lots of people have set out to teach this. It's not always easy when you just give it to somebody plain like this. Oftentimes it's better received when you do it through music, and that's what Peter Tosh and many other reggae artists have come to the understanding of, that the best way to deliver this message is through the music. And so today, as we try to uncover these ideas and learn from a great teacher in Peter Tosh, we're going to try and really know this information, and as he says, to feel it, you got to know it. If you don't feel it, you can't know it. And so we'll take a little look at a clip because we will be listening to his music along the way, so that we really can feel this message and truly come to understand it.
I have been on a research. Music is psychology, see? And if the music does not penetrate the heart, the soul, and the mind, and the body, then you ain't gonna feel it. Because reggae music is not something that you hear, it's something you feel, see? And if you don't feel it, you can't know it, see? It is a spiritual music with spiritual ingredients for spiritual purposes, see?
Okay, so it's a spiritual music with spiritual ingredients for spiritual purposes. Now, what are those spiritual purposes? Well, it's the upliftment of consciousness, the upliftment of humanity, moving closer to equal rights and justice, which is the true nature of things, that we are all created equal. And so the the most natural place, or one of the best places I think to start if we want to understand, what natural law is about and sovereignty and our rights, and we want to learn that through the words of Peter Tosh and his music. It's going to be his song called "I Am That I Am" from his album Equal Rights. And so we'll take a minute to listen to the song here, and then we'll have a chance to discuss some of the lyrics and some of the meanings of them.
To live up to your expectations, neither are you here to live up to mine. Yeah, I don't owe no one, no obligation, no one owe me none, so everything is fine, fine. I said I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am. Don't underestimate my ability. Don't definite my character. Don't belittle my authority. It's time you recognize my quality. I said I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I said I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am. Learn to love your brother. Don't covet your neighbor. Flee from the city. It's getting shitty. It is full of autocrity. I said I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am the rock of ages, you cannot move by at all. I am the son of lightning, you cannot move by at all. Son of Jacob cannot be moved at all. I am the son of Moses, you can move by at all. I am the son of David, you cannot move by at
All right, so I really think this song conveys the message of liberty and sovereignty and individuality and natural rights just so well. First of all, just the title, I Am That I Am. It's really saying, I am me, and it's my decision, my life, it's my choice of what I'm going to do, how I'm going to live this life, and what I'm going to do with my life. Really, nobody other than me has any right to decide that. And that's why he says, I'm not in this world to live up to your expectations, but neither are you here to live up to mine. Meaning, like, whatever you view as the proper and right way of living, or what is the best way to do things, or this or that, that's great. that's for you. That works for you. And really, it's not. I have no ability to try and tell you any way different, so long as you're not harming somebody else. But the same goes for me and for every other individual. Every single person has a right to choose to live their life however they so choose. There is no right of any society or government or institution to put parameters or guidelines or require things or have even requiring kids to go to school at a certain age, requiring medical procedures or vaccinations, all these things that are so-called required to function in this society, taxation. These things are wrong, and nobody has the right to just tell you that you are forced to obey these rules. Just because you're born in a particular space does not mean that you somehow owe some government or some group or some anything, whether it be a church or a government. This idea that these institutions can control these aspects of our lives and these decisions that we're doing for ourselves or with other consenting individuals, it really is an infringement on natural rights itself, because we have liberty as part of nature, and nobody has a right to decide what you do with your liberty, with your right, with your free will. And also because you're the one who deals with the consequences of your choices and your actions. So nobody else should have a right to get in between that and to force you to go a different way. Because at the end of the day, you are the one responsible for 100% of the choices that you make. Now, I don't owe no one no obligation. No one owe me none. So everything is fine. And so again, like, I didn't come into the world just because I was born in this geographic area that somehow I owe some tax to some particular area that they just decided that they get to arbitrarily take a percentage of the resources I bring in, or a percentage of the value of the home that other people have decided the value of a particular piece of property is, steal additional funds from every transaction. They take money when you die, when you're born. I mean, it's there. Somehow we've gotten to this place where we've accepted that being born somewhere, you have an obligation to this entity that just claimed the right to be able to decide how much you owe it. But no one comes into this world owing anybody. And if you stop trying to expect me to pay you or expect to control my actions, then everything would be fine. It's live and let live. He also continues, don't underestimate my ability, and don't defamate my character or belittle my authority. Now, what authority is he talking about? He's not talking about his authority to go and control others, to go and tell others what to do with their life. He's talking about the authority over himself. He's talking about being a ruler of himself. By assuming that you need to tell somebody else what to do is to assume they don't have the ability to do that for themselves. And that's belittling. That is defamating to someone's character. Now, if I'm a true adult that's come to the understanding of right versus wrong, and I willfully choose to do right, then there's nobody who has a right to come and tell me what I should or should not be doing with my life. That is a defamation of my character. That just assumes that I don't have the ability to do this for myself. And I have the authority over myself. Nobody else has that authority. The only authority over any individual is the authority of creation itself, or natural law, or God, whatever you want to look at that as. But there is no man-made authority, as Thomas Jefferson said, and I brought up in my first presentation. All men are created equal, and they're endowed with unalienable rights. And so it's like we have these rights as part of creation, and we are all equal. There is no hierarchy within man. Once man begins to prop up these hierarchies is when we begin to have problems. We have people trying to control others and separate people and think that some are better than others or have more rights than others just because this document or that document or where this person was born or what language they speak. But in reality, there is one authority above. That one creative force created all of creation, and all of these beings were created equal upon it. So learn to love your brother. And who is your brother? Well, again, there's one creative force above, the creator, the father figure to all of creation. And so that would make all of us brothers and sisters in creation. And so we need to learn to love our brother as our neighbor, as our brother. We need to be our brother's keeper. We need to not covet our neighbor, which is to not take what is not ours, which is what I just explained in my definition of what is harm. Don't take somebody else's life. Don't take somebody else's free will to decide what to do with their life, who to associate with sexually, what to don't take away their free will to have their person. Don't lie to them. Don't coerce them. And so we need to learn to not covet our neighbor, not to do things that infringe on other people's rights by taking what is not ours. And so really that's what this message is trying to get. And it's also the idea of my authority is sovereignty. I have come to understand right from wrong. I've come to understand I'm the ruler of myself and I'm responsible for my actions. And therefore I can go out and make these decisions without some ruler or somebody else to tell me what I have to do. I am going to follow my conscience as opposed to following orders or some sort of law or other attempt to control something. And so I think this song just really conveys that message. It obviously shows that Peter Tosh understands that we have natural rights, we have liberty, and this liberty and these rights extend to everybody, not just people in a specific region who have some document that some people signed however many years ago saying it. All those documents are doing is stating what exists already in nature. All right, so the other song that I think really just defines natural law is another great song called Feel No Way. And I think it's really just the principle of cause and effect. And so we'll take a second to listen to this, and we'll dig into it as well.
No matter feel no way, it's coming close to pain. man get pay, your country's work this day. Nobody feel no way. It's coming close to payday. Nobody feel no way. Your country's work this day. Nobody.
All right. So, I mean, that song is entirely about cause and effect, or causality. And causality is everything. If you don't understand the laws of cause and effect, you have no power. You have no power to affect change at all. You know, like the whole song, you know, cannot plant peas and reap rice. Cannot plant cocoa and reap yam. Obviously, the seeds that we sow, the seeds we plant, you know, very, very clearly in the physical realm, are going to determine the fruits that we harvest, what we sow, or what we reap come harvest time. So what we do today is going to determine what we receive in the future. You know, and this obviously, you know, again, the physical and the spiritual are not separate. So if in the physical realm you can't plant peas and reap rice, then obviously also in the spiritual and the moral realm, you cannot tell lies and hear truth. You cannot be wrong and get right. And so if we want to get the right results, we have to learn what right from wrong is and choose to do what's right. We have to sow the seeds of right action, of wisdom, and that will generate the right results, which is freedom. And so the whole point here is to understand that no matter what, you know, we can't avoid this. This is how it works. Again, in the physical or in the spiritual, whatever we put into the ground, whatever we choose through our actions, is going to generate the results. Is going to be what we reap, what we harvest in the future. You know, he also says, "No bother, feel no way. It's coming close to payday. Every man get paid according to his work this day." And, you know, at first I thought this was more referring to actually getting paid evenly and being compensated fairly for everything that we do in this world. But it's far deeper than that. On a spiritual level, what he's referring to is judgment. You know, every single person is going to receive the consequences of every single choice that they choose. We are 100% responsible for every action we choose, whether we think so or not. Whether we think we've abdicated our responsibility, whether we think we're just doing our job, whether we think this is just how the system is, no matter what, we are responsible for our choices, and we are going to reap what we sow. And, you know, so come payday, you know, payday is judgment day. And so we're all going to get paid. We're all, you know, the story of Ma'at, everybody sits there and has their heart weighed against a feather. And it's what you didn't do that will determine whether you get to go forward, whether you have progressed spiritually. And so we need to come to understand these principles, because if we don't understand right from wrong, then it's difficult to know that we're choosing right. You know, in Freemasonry, this concept is what's known as being on the checkerboard floor. We're black and we're white. We don't know light from dark or right from wrong. So we're just kind of on the board. We're getting chaotic results because we don't know definitively that we're doing what's right. So you know, it's a crapshoot. Sometimes we're choosing right, sometimes we're choosing wrong, but we don't know going into it. Also, if you think of this concept, if you're on the checkerboard floor, you're in the game. You're a pawn in the game. You're not, you know, the person who understands things, the chess master, is up above, moving the pawns on the checkerboard floor. He's not on the board himself getting played or being played with, being a part in the game. And so what we want to do is to come to understand these principles, so we're no longer a pawn in somebody else's game, just getting chaotic results for ourselves and for everybody else. If we can, you know, come to this understanding of what is right from wrong, then we can choose to do what's right, and we can generate more right results, which will improve the condition for everybody around us, me personally as well as everyone around me, and ideally we can affect enough change out into the world that this can move things forward, and we can have a better experience and move closer to equal rights and justice, which really is the goal, and is the next song by Peter Tosh that we're going to take a look at.
Everyone is crying out for peace, yes. None is crying out for justice. Everyone is crying out for peace, yes. None is crying out for justice. I don't want no peace. I need equal rights and justice. I need equal rights and justice. I need equal rights and justice. Got to get it. Equal rights and justice. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. Followers of Jesus, everybody wants to go up to heaven, but none of them want to die. I don't want no peace. I might need equal rights and justice. I got to get it. Equal rights and justice. I really need it. Equal rights and justice. Just give them my share. Equal rights and justice. What is due to Caesar? You better give it on to Caesar. Hey, hey, hey. And what belongs to I and I? You better give it up to I. 'Cause I don't want no peace. I need equal rights and justice. I need equal rights and justice. I got to get it. Equal rights and justice. I'm fighting for it. Equal rights and justice. Everyone heading for the top, but tell me how far is it from the bottom? Nobody knows, but everybody fighting to reach the top. How far is it from the bottom? I don't want no peace. I want equal rights and justice. I need equal rights and justice. in Angola, equal rights and justice down in Botswana, equal rights and justice down in Zimbabwe, equal rights and justice down.
And so really that's the goal, equal rights and justice. And not just here in America, not just in the developed nations, not just in places that have constitutions or documents that supposedly claim that we have equal rights, but every single person has to have equal rights all throughout the world, because again, we are all brothers and sisters in creation, and until that happens, then we're not going to be in alignment with natural law or in alignment with creation, because as Thomas Jefferson said, all men are created equal. They are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Now that means that we all have the same equal rights, and they come from our Creator. So again, there is no hierarchy amongst men. All men are created equal. We all have the same rights. We all have the same liberties. We all have the right to choose to do with our life what we so choose. We also, none of us have the right to tell someone else to do what to do with their life. We don't have the right to control others' freedoms or liberties or natural right. Nobody has that right. So once we've created things like government says that actually there is a hierarchy amongst men. There are the rulers and there are the subjects, or there's the masters and the slaves. But again, this is all a claim. This doesn't exist in reality, because remember, in nature we were all created equal with equal rights, the exact same natural rights and liberties. So once man, I guess assuming that he is the authority over the Creator, not the other way around, attempts to create these hierarchies amongst men, he attempts to usurp the natural rights and liberties of those individuals, because that right doesn't exist. If I don't have the right to take from you what is not mine, whether that be your possessions or your earnings or the product of your labor, or whether that be your liberty to choose to do with your life what you so choose, whether that be to put a substance like a natural herb into your body. All of these things are natural rights, and nobody has that right to control somebody who is exercising what exists naturally in nature. No man has the authority over nature, like we talked about in the first in my first presentation with Thomas Jefferson. Gravity exists, and it is a law within nature. It was put here by the Creator, or nature, whatever you want to look at that as. Something other than man put the law of gravity into effect. It is binding upon us. We can't change it. But it's not here to control us. It's here for our betterment. And so, we can't. No man has the authority to sit down in a room, whether there's 100 people or they call themselves representatives or government, and they write down all the laws they want. If they tried to affect the laws of gravity, nothing would actually change. And so the same is true for our natural rights and our natural liberty. They can write it down on paper all they want, that we don't have a right to do this, or we don't have a right to do that, or they have a right to do things that are objectively wrong. They can write it all they want, and they can claim it all they want, but it doesn't have power unless you accept it, because it's not true in nature. It is not right. It is not moral. It is not in alignment with natural law. And so everyone's crying out for peace, but we need to get justice, and justice would be to have natural law to be in alignment with that, and that would be to have equal rights among all people, all of humanity. Because again, any hierarchy that man has attempted to create is not actually true. It's nothing but a claim. And one of the major things that holds us back from that is this fear of death. A lot of people have accepted the claim that that you die and go to heaven. Well, first of all, if you accept this, why do you fear death so much? That concept never really made any sense to me. If you have all this fear of death and you which fear of death is one of the primary reasons people are willing to give away their rights. Just think of 2020 and how many rights people were willing to give away because of the fear of some invisible little thing possibly killing us. And so it's that fear of death, and again, so many people think that that's where that's what we're actually headed for. You got to die to go to heaven in many people's beliefs. And if you accept that, then why do you have the fear of death, and why do you give away so many of your freedoms and liberties to avoid these fears of death? If really that's what you've accepted as the truth, in reality, that's obviously not the case, and that's one of the ways that they keep us off the path. If we think that what we do here doesn't matter, then we're not going to try and make any changes. So then another part that really took me a while to understand is this part here. It said, "What is due to Caesar, you better give on to Caesar, and what belonged to I, you better give up to I." Now this is obviously from the Bible. I believe it's from Romans, and it's one of the things that helped me think that that this is really not in alignment with what is true or real. But if you truly understand what he's saying here, what is due to Caesar, you better give to Caesar, and what belongs to I give to I. Well, Caesar is what? A man, and I'm a man. And so what is due to Caesar is the exact same thing that's due to me, and that's my equal rights. So he has the same rights that I have. So there is no obligation. I'm not in this world to live up to his obligation or any other chief magistrate of the day or whatever people that are out there that claim that they have that I'm a subject to them, because I'm a subject to no one but the Creator. And so Caesar's not due anything more than me. So we will give him what he's due, because we want everyone to have their equal rights. We will give him what he's due as long as you give me what I'm due. And so that means don't take what is mine, which is my rights and my liberties. Another thing is, everyone headed for the top, but tell me, how far is it from the bottom? Well, when the entire system, whether it be government or religions or anything that has kind of been propped up today, our education system, our healthcare system, so-called healthcare system, all these systems are actually inverted. They're not in alignment with nature. They're working against creation, and so they're what that force typically does, the force of involution, is to take what is creation and to invert it and to help to get people to work for their own destruction. And so when the system is inverted, if you're trying to reach the top, that's actually the bottom. And so you think about it, what does it take to be a top musician today? You look at Peter Tosh, someone who wasn't willing to waver on his principles, and his music didn't have the commercial success that it really should have or would have had he been talking about things and base consciousness and things that really keep us off the path and things that don't matter, as opposed to singing music that was going to help people understand their rights and uplift themselves. You think of most people want to get the things that bring in the most resources. Well, what are those? I mean, mostly they're like actors and sports things that are there set up to be the distraction and to keep us from spending our time and attention on what truly matters. And then you think of politicians. You really want to get to the top of that. You want to be the top dominator, the top fool that bought the idea that you actually have the control or authority over other people. You want to be that clown. It's like, go ahead and go for that, but that is the bottom. That's the bottom of the barrel, because you've obviously shown that to such a degree you're willing to set your principles of right and wrong aside and try to attain such a deplorable achievement. And again, everyone talking about crime, tell me, who are the criminals? Politicians sit in Washington, D.C. here in the United States and decide how to control our rights and our freedoms, our natural rights and our freedoms, creating criminals out of people who aren't causing harm. We'll talk about this a little bit more in the presentation in a little bit, but cannabis was decided by some people that they could outlaw nature, creation itself, what was put here by the Creator, that somehow man knows better and can outlaw nature itself, and then created criminals. This whole war on drugs, allegedly, which is just a war on the people themselves. which was just another excuse to lock people up and throw them in cages, because we had slavery here where people were in cages and shackles and chains, and they ostensibly had to get rid of that. And so they found new ways to lock people up and keep them in bondage, and to use them for their work, and to not pay them, and to control them, and to dominate them. And you create criminals out of thin air, because somehow man believes themselves to be the arbiter of what is right and wrong, when again these things are inherent to nature. So we've created criminals, so-called criminals, but really, who are the criminals? It's the politicians themselves, the people who sit around and think that they have a right to control all the people's freedoms. They absolutely don't have that right, and so what they're doing is illegal, and not according to the law that man has written down in these constitutions and law books and legislation, but according to the laws of nature, or the laws of the Creator, or the laws of Jah, as the Rastas would say. And so we really need to look at who are the criminals, and start resisting those criminals, the actual criminals, the people who are infringing on our rights, as opposed to letting them convince us to dehumanize an entire group of the population based on things that are absolutely natural rights and liberties for individuals to do themselves. And, so as we move forward, equal rights and justice is the goal. And so how are we going to go about achieving that? The first order of business, before we can go out and start to teach people right versus wrong, we have to get our own house in order. Because if we live in a glass house, we cannot throw stones. So we need to do the shadow work, the internal work, to figure out what it is within ourselves that we maybe believe that isn't true, or that we're not being honest with ourselves about, that's holding us back from being in alignment with natural law. Whether that is because of our profession, or how we bring in resources, or other things that we participate in, we need to look at these things objectively and see, do these institutions we participate in, does the sources of my financial resources, is this part of a system that is objectively wrong because it's taking from people? We need to look at all these things and think, am I in a position that is, personally, I worked for a financial institution, and although I tried to have a conscious in what I was doing and working with individuals on a one-on-one basis, the entire system itself is based on usury and these made-up instruments of finances to control a debt slave system that is inherently immoral. So for me, I had to look at that and be completely honest with myself, and I had to make changes. I had to stop participating in that system if I wanted to be in alignment with what is right and what is moral, and I wanted to stop doing harm through the way that I brought in resources. And so that is one step I had to take, and in an attempt to get rid of the glass house that I had propped up around myself, and attempt to start with a solid foundation and actually build something that would be resilient and strong and fortifying, to be a true sovereign, to truly understand these things. So we'll move into Peter Tosh's song, Glass House, so we can begin the process of getting our own house in order. Okay, excuse me. So I got a little bit ahead of myself. The first step before we get our house in order is to get up and stand up for our rights. So we'll start with get up, stand up before we move into glass house. I apologize for that.
Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Get up, stand up. stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. You preacher man, don't tell me heaven is under the earth. You are dumpy and you don't know what life is really worth. It's not all that glitter is gold, and half a story has never been told. So now we see the light. We gonna stand up for our rights. Come on, get up, stand up. Brothers, stand up for your rights. Come on, get up, stand up. Sisters, don't give up the fight. I'm begging you to get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. I said don't give up the fight. Cause you know most people think a great God will come from the skies and take away every little thing and left everybody dry. But if you know what life is worth, you would look for yours right here on earth. And now we see the light. We gonna stand up for our rights. Come on, get up, stand up. Don't make them push you around. Stand up for your rights. Come on, brothers, get up, stand up. Be brave now, don't give up the fight. I say get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Don't let them hold you down. Get up, stand up. Don't give up to the fight. Sick and tired of this game of technology. Humbly asking Jesus for his mercy. We know and we understand. Almighty Jah is a living man. You fool some people sometimes, but you can't fool all the people all the time. And now we see the light. We gonna stand up for our rights. Come on, get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Come on, our brothers, get up, stand up. I said don't give up the fight. Don't let them push you. I say get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Come.
So that's just it. Action is required. You got to get up and stand up. You got to stand up for your rights. I mean, you can't just sit back and be on the sidelines. And you know, so that's what he's talking about in the first verse there. You preacher man, don't tell me heaven is under the earth. Again, the idea that you got to die to go to heaven, which would mean that what's going on this physical plane really doesn't matter. And so he calls him a duppy. You don't know what life is really worth, because you know what matters is we're on this physical plane on this earth for a reason, for a purpose, to live this life. We're not just here for some temporary bid to suffer and live in sin until we go to this eternal bliss with all our brethren. You know, what we do here matters, and we need to do what is right while we're here. And so, you know, he calls him a duppy because that often refers to like a ghost or kind of a spirit. But, you know, in this case, I think he's referring to what many people today would call an NPC, or what in the book The Stellar Man they call a somnambulist, kind of somebody who's sleepwalking. Because if you've accepted that you just got to die to go to heaven and your actions here don't matter, then you've effectively been neutralized. You're not in the battle. You're not on the playing field. You're just sitting on the sideline thinking everything's happening to you, that this is just how it is, and there's nothing that we can do about it. And if that's where you're at, then you're almost spiritually dead, because the whole spiritual mission here is to understand these things and then to help others so we can progress as humanity, progress in consciousness, evolve to move forward as a species. And if you're on the sidelines, then you're not doing anything for that. You're not even aware that this is happening, and so you're effectively sleepwalking. You're in the matrix, so to speak. You're not aware of the reality of things, and you're participating in the made up, fabricated framework that's around you, and you're not standing up for what is true and what is right. He also says half the story has never been told, and I would say what he's referring to here is that the Bible has been given to many people today, and as this Christian history, and we've kind of changed much of the history to fit this Western European idea of creation and human beings and our appearance. But the reality is all of that story took place in the Middle East and Northern Africa. And so to take out any history of Africa and try and wipe that out, if you go into one of the oldest Bibles was found in Ethiopia, the Coptic Bible. There's stories of the Queen of Sheba having a son with King Solomon, and many texts that would support the idea that the true Hebrews are actually Africans from Ethiopia, and that the true line of Judah or people of Israel are actually people from Ethiopia. And so, I'm not saying this is true or not, but there's certainly a large percentage of this story that has not been told, and this is what he's referring to here. Is if you think that the story that you've been given when they finally decided it was good enough to let individuals have the Bible themselves, if you think they actually gave them the whole deal and that was all you needed, then I think it's kind of naive. And again, to think that God's just going to come from the skies and take away everything, again, you don't know what life is worth, because what we need to do is right here on earth. This is what matters. This is why we're here. This is what we need to be focused on improving, and we're going to do that by doing what's right, by being in alignment with natural law, so we can generate the right result. We need to stop participating in the lie, in the illusion. You fool some people sometimes, but you can't fool all the people all the time. There's always going to be some people that see the light, the truth. Even Jesus spoke about that. He called himself the way, the truth, the light. And if you don't look at things in such a literal or exoteric sense or historic sense, and we can look at the allegory or the moral of the story or the more esoteric interpretation, if we just look at the truth as the way to set you free, then absolutely that is correct, because the truth is what's going to set you free. What is true is what is right, is what is moral, is what is in alignment with natural law, in alignment with creation, is reality, and all of these things that we've propped up that are not in alignment with that are made up, these claims of these institutions and these so-called hierarchies and all of these things we've created are destruction. As he said in the first clip I shared, we've been researching and making destruction because it can't create anything, because that force of involution doesn't create anything. It just inverts what is good and what is moral and switches that up. And so we can't be fooled by what everybody's doing. And this is what so many people do, is look around us today and say, well, look, people are bad. This has been happening forever. This is the way it is and the way it's always going to be. Just because the current condition is a certain way doesn't mean we can't affect a change here. And so, we can't be fooled to think that this is just how it is, because this is the condition we've been worked into. We need to know for a fact that we can change things, and that comes with the understanding of what is true and what is moral and what is right. And again, that is how we're going to begin to do this work. We need to do the shadow work internally, because we can't live in a glass house. We have to have our own house in order. We have to have a solid foundation to which we build our house.
Said if you live in a glass house, don't
All right, so like we said, we have to get our house in order first, because if we live in a glass house, we are not in a position to throw stones. Now, a great example of why this is so important is the first presentation that I did in this Natural Law Through the Ages series on Thomas Jefferson. Now, Thomas Jefferson wrote that all men are created equal, that we all have unalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. He understood that our rights don't come from as a gift from our chief magistrate, that they are part of the laws of nature and from nature's God. Uh, and yet at the same time, he went on and continued to own other humans, other men, throughout his entire life. And so he said one thing, but his actions weren't actually in alignment with that. Now, unfortunately, because he didn't align his actions with the words that he spoke and the understanding that he put forth for others to understand, many people won't even take the time to look at him, and his entire message has been lost, found on deaf ears for the bulk of humanity, because so many people today just call him a racist and completely disregard anything he has to say, anything he wrote, and won't even be open to the opportunity to learn from. So it's just a great example of why it's so important for us to do the internal work, to do the shadow work, the very difficult work that is looking internally, being honest with yourself, not lying and not dreaming anymore, and doing that work to grow spiritually as an individual. He's very clear on how we grow spiritually and how we begin to not be in a glass house. Harm no man, let no man harm you. That means you don't harm others. You don't take what is not yours. You don't do those 7 transgressions we talked about earlier. You don't take what doesn't belong to you, and that's other people's rights, their property, and their lives, as well as their liberty. And don't let any man harm you. Inherent to the right, to the life that you have, is the right to defend it. And so when somebody else is doing something wrong, i.e. harming you, whether that is physical harm or coercion or deception or the infringement of your natural liberties, like a cannabis law or a licensure or taxation, any of these things are harmful and are not things that we want to do to others. And when that's being done to us, we have a right to defend ourselves. And the best way we can defend ourselves is by resisting, removing support, not participating, and spreading the message so that others can understand that these things are wrong and stop their participation as well. Do unto others as they would do to you, the golden rule. Very, very simple way to understand these things. And again, better understood apophatically or in the negative. Don't do things to people you don't want other people doing to you. If you don't want people telling you what to do with your life, don't try to tell other people what to do with their life. If you're sitting around doing something that's not harming anybody on your own property, in your own space, you have the right to be left alone. Nobody should come onto that property. Nobody should be telling people what to do. Nobody should come and try and take money or other resources from you. Nobody should come and say, hey, I don't like how tall your grass is. You need to cut it. All of these things are just infringements on people's individual rights and their liberties. And it's all this attempt to create a hierarchy amongst men where some get to tell others what to do. Some are masters and some are slaves. Some are rulers and others are subjects. And again, that doesn't exist in nature. That is just a claim. And what we need to do is understand that so that we can stop participating. That is how you stop doing harm, is you stop participating in these things. He also says to every bald head, respect the Rastaman, because he's the only man left on creation. Now, I think there's some deeper meaning in there as well, but as Peter Tosh says in another interview we won't see today, a Rastaman is a follower of the Creator. Rastafari itself, the etymology is head creator, and so when they call themselves a Rastaman, they are referring to all the people who are in service of creation, who are in alignment with natural law, who are choosing to do what's right. And so that's who deserves respect, because those are the individuals who have come to rule themselves and are doing what's right, willfully, and not because of the fear of violence or the fear of death or any other form of fear. Okay, you live your world on lies, you build your world on lies and illusions, but you never know this is the conclusion. Because in reality, we can build up all these lies and illusions, governments and these man-made hierarchies, these institutions and churches and all these attempts to get in between individuals and the Creator and to be the intermediaries. They can build that all up, but the truth is always showing. The conclusion is that there is something that is objectively true, objectively right, and that will eventually win out in this battle. And we can help that and progress that and move that along by, again, removing our own support as an individual and then helping to teach that with others. He says, I'm on this earth to give Jah praise, really to give thanks to the Creator, because we should be grateful. Look at how beautiful this world really is in nature, and if we were to truly be in alignment with it, we could share in that abundance and really have a beautiful experience here and create in all the infinite ways that humanity has the ability to create, and all the unique and different individual expressions of creation that are possibly there. Without all these institutions and culture and law, which are really the two main ways that we thwart that individual expression or individual creativity. I come to do the things that are right, and if you don't like it, we're going to fight. If you're an individual that is choosing to do right and people are trying to thwart you and control you and tell you what to do and try and get in your way, and objectively that what you're doing is true, is moral, is right, then you absolutely are in the right to stand up for yourself. And I think obviously Peter Tosh's view on the best way to do that is again by not participating in things that are wrong, and by speaking out against these things unapologetically, having the courage and the confidence to do that, even if you're talking out against a system like record labels and things that are actually you're dependent on, or are still the ones that are putting your music out. He wasn't afraid of the consequences of doing what was right, because he knew that it was going to generate the right results. And again, although that did result in him losing his physical life, he is still giving Jah praise, and he is still teaching people. He is still helping people to do what's right through his music, which will continue to live on. And we should all be grateful that he took the time to put this forth for all of us, to move all of us forward as well. And so, one of the major parts of not living in a glass house, again, as I mentioned, is to not participate in these man-made things that are meant to keep us off the path and are meant for destruction and are meant to keep us out of alignment with nature. And so it's really about saying no. No is one of the most powerful things we can say. No to all of these systems. And so we'll take a look at this next song by Peter Tosh called Mystic Man.
Man, such a mystic man. I'm just a mystic man. Mystic man. I'm a dope. I'm a dope. I'm a dope. I don't drink no champagne. Don't drink no champagne. No, I don't. And I'm a dope. I don't sniff them cocaine. Don't sniff no choke brain. I'm a dope. No, I don't. Don't take 'em
your fried chicken.
Pick up your fried chicken.
Not licking. I'm on dough.
I'm a dope. I'm a dope.
Eat up them frankfurters.
Pick up the Frankfurt.
Garbage. I'm on dough.
I'm a dope. I'm a dope.
Eat down the hamburger.
Pick up the
Can't do that. I'm on dough.
I'm a dope. I'm a dope.
Drink pink, blue, yellow, green soda.
Soda pop. Soda pop.
Cause I'm a man of the past, and I'm living in the present, and I'm walking in the future, stepping in the future. Man of the past, and I'm living in the present, and I'm walking, keep on walking. Just a mystic man.
Such a mystic man.
Got to be a mystic man.
Mystic man.
I'm and no I do. Play fool's games on Saturday. And I'm and no I don't congregate on a Sunday. No I don't.
Such a mystic man. Mystic man.
So, like you said, it's about saying no. Really, it's one of the most powerful things we can do is to say no. So, obviously, things like cocaine and morphine, these drugs that are really destructive and harmful to our bodies, obviously, we don't want to be taking these kind of things into ourselves. But there's also things like champagne or alcohol and cigarettes, things that are legal according to man's law that are obviously harmful to our bodies, that when taken in excess are causing all kinds of health issues, keeping us from a better awareness and spiritual growth and keeping our temple in order. He also talks about, I don't eat fried chicken, frankfurters, hamburger, drink pink, blue, yellow, green soda. And really what he's saying is all these processed and fried foods and sodas and things that have got all these artificial sweeteners, artificial ingredients. I talked about in my presentation on reggae music, the mystery tradition of reggae music and its symbols, about ITAL, and really it's about being vital with our body, our mind, and our spirit, and really what we take into our body as food has a big that's our fuel. That's what our body uses to create and to function and to regenerate things. And so it matters what we put into ourselves. And the more natural and whole and close to their natural form, healthful things without chemicals and other harmful toxins put on them is going to be the best way for us to tend our body. And the better we take care of our body, the better we're going to be able to think and process things, understand things, the better we'll be able to affect change for the positive in the world. And he also took, I don't play fool's games on a Saturday. What he's referring to is sports in general. Most people are distracted with these competitive sports and things and stuff that's keeping us from really focusing on what really matters. I mean, if people had the passion and the care that they do for their football teams or baseball and basketball teams or soccer teams, that if they were able to bring that passion and care and just channel that and put that towards what is true and free, my God, the amount of change that we could affect in such a short time would be amazing. I mean, people will do so much stand out in the snow for hours just to be able to watch this and scream and drink beer and cook and cook all this noxious food for yourselves, and it's you're off the path if that's really what you care so much about. Not that there's an inability to enjoy these things in a healthy way, but if that's really what you care about and what you're most passionate about, then you're not focused on what really matters. This also isn't some religious thing. We're not going to waste our time congregating on a Sunday, looking externally for some sort of salvation through a church or the man-made institutions of religion that attempt to get between you and the Creator, that attempt to somehow know this better than you and do it for you, as if we don't all have that connection to the Creator ourselves. One way that we can understand that too is what he talks about here is, well, first, I'm a man of the past. Now he's what he's referencing here is reincarnation. He's pretty clear about the fact that he doesn't think we're here for one stint, die and go to heaven. Obviously, he mentions this in many of his songs, and so he's a man of the past. His soul has been here many a times, and he's just here again, continuing to do the work that he's been doing for eons of time. But today he's living in the present moment awareness. Really, the reason they call it the present, it's because it's a gift. It's true that the only moment that exists is this very moment right here, right now. Anything in the past or in the future only exists in the mind. And so the only thing that truly exists is the present. We need to start living in this present moment. And what so many of us today are not living in the present moment because of things like technology and social media and cell phones and all these Netflix and other distractions that are taking our time and our attention and redirecting it away from what matters in this moment, in the here and the now. And so, again, what we say no to matters. What we take into ourselves matters. So one of the best ways that we can resist or rebel or to affect a change is to say no, to stop participating, to stop being a part of these things that are against creation, that are not working in alignment with natural law. And that goes to saying no to everything that is involved with government, because the entire premise of government is based on stealing things that are not theirs. They attempt to steal financial resources as well as control people's natural rights and liberties, which is not theirs to control. So the entire premise of that is immoral and wrong and not in alignment with natural law. So we have to remove support for this and not participate in this institution, this claim of authority. We need to not participate in these education systems, the Bolshevik education system that was set up here to just make obedient workers. That is offloading the education of our children, is not taking responsibility, not being a sovereign that is in control of themselves and takes responsibility for their actions and the things that they're responsible for and the human beings they're responsible for raising. We need to say no to the medical system. I mean, pharmaceutical drugs are absolutely harmful, especially when we look at things like pain medications and the opioids. We look at SSRIs and things that take away our ability to even feel emotion. Which how are we going to have any moral compass if we remove our ability to feel? I mean, if we don't care, we can't feel, we cut ourselves off from our emotion, then we are going to be creating chaos and destruction. We need to say no to things like vaccines, and everything the CDC is putting forth. I mean, this entire idea that man somehow has to facilitate or man knows better than the Creator did on how to exist on this planet is just arrogance in my view. So we also want to stop participating in the media in things like finance. All of these institutions are just made up. I mean, think of the entire profession of accounting, what your entire field of study and then profession is based on all the man-made rules of how man, calling himself government, is going to go about stealing from different types of entities. And what you do is help people determine what they allegedly owe this entity that they owe nothing to. Nobody owes anything to the government, because I'm not in this world to live up to their expectations. Neither are they here to live up to mine. I owe them no obligation. No one owes me none, so everything is fine. And so we need to understand that we don't owe the government anything, and it has no right to even exist. Nobody can prop up an institution that says, I have a claim of authority over this group of people because I said so, and a couple of my buddies signed a form and we did a whole little ritual. That will never actually make that claim true. The only reason it has an effect on us today is because people have made that claim and everyone else has accepted it. Those are the lies and the illusions that we have built our life on. So we really got to learn to say no. We got to live in the present moment. And we got to step into the future doing what's right. And none of that is external. I want to make sure to acknowledge that this is a process. These things don't change overnight. You don't just one day hear something and be like, oh, okay, I'm going to make all these changes, and everything just happens. It's a process. You have to take stock of where you are today, be completely honest with yourself, and develop a plan to begin to move forward and to begin to align your actions with what is morally right, and to have the courage to do that, and just to take that first step. Taking the first step is the most important part. Everyone has made mistakes. Everyone has done things that are wrong. Especially because of the way the system is. All these things around us that have been propped up are wrong, and if you just go along with it without questioning it, you will basically almost impossible to avoid doing wrong if you're participating, especially here in America and the United States. And so it's not anybody's place to judge those things. I'm not here trying to judge others. I'm trying to help others understand this so they can do the work to figure out what they need to do, and they can start to move forward as well. Because that is what is required. Action is required. And it does matter, and that's going to bring us that's really all that matters is our actions, our choices, and that'll bring us to our next song here called Stand Firm.
Live clean, let your works be seen. Stand firm or you gonna feed worms. Live clean, let your works be seen, my brothers. Stand firm or you gonna feed worms. One ballad till me see. It's your ballad or tell me see. Put on my clothes and come with him, and make we go to church Sunday. Soul seekers, I say. Jacket and tie, come tell me say. Clean clothes, come tell me say. Me faith come with him and go to church this Sunday. Soul seekers, I say. All you got to do, live clean and let your works be seen. My brothers, stand firm or you gonna feed worm. Live clean, let your works be seen, my sisters. Stand firm or you gonna feed worm. This your one come till I see, another one come till I see. If you want to be saved, son, you got to go in your grave, son. Yeah, back up bushes.
say, the other one come until I say, if you want to be the light, son, you got to love Jesus Christ, son. That is fantasy. Hold back of ignorance, I say. All you got to do, live clean, let your works be seen. Stand firm or go feed worms. Live clean, let your works be seen. Stand firm or go feed worms. Till I say, then I pass till I say, if I want to be pure within, I got to come confess my sin. Another pirate, I say. All you got to do, live clean, let your works be seen. My brother, stand firm or go feed worms. My sister, live clean, let your works be seen. My brother, stand firm or you gonna feed worms. This your one come till I see. This your one come till I see. He think it is wise that I should have get baptized, yes. But when I realize it was the devil in disguise. This your one come till I see. Another one come till I see. To be in the light, got to take Jesus Christ. You talk it like gladness, but that is madness, I say.
So that's it. We got to live clean, let our works be seen. Stand firm, or you're going to feed worm. I mean, your life's not going to matter. You're going to end up in the ground thinking that that's somehow where you needed to go to get to heaven. But really what matters here is our works, our actions, what we do, the choices that we make, whether those choices are right or those choices are wrong. That's what matters. That's what's going to determine the results we're going to get, the condition that we experience here on this earth. And, he's very clear to say that, this is not some religious thing that is not external. You want to go to church on Sunday as if that's going to somehow bring you closer to God or the Creator. Those are soul seekers looking externally for what exists individually within each and every one of us. We have our conscience. We have the ability to come to know these things internally without needing to interact with all these intermediaries again. All you got to do is live clean and let your works be seen. That's what matters. Our works, what we do. Back to feel no way. Cause and effect. Causality is everything. If you don't understand the laws of cause and effect, you have no power. And so we want to have power on this earth, and so we need to understand the laws of cause and effect, that what we reap is what we sow is what we reap. And so we need to understand these things. We need to come to understand that, and we need to choose the right action, because that is what matters. Again, to be saved, son, you got to go in the grave. That's a pack of bullshit. Again, if you've accepted that you were just put on this earth for a one and done, that Jesus or some external savior has come and done all the work for you. All you have to do as a born sinner is to suffer through this existence, and then you get to go and live in heaven forever and ever in eternal bliss with all your brethren. If you accept that, then you are on the sideline. You are neutralized. You are not in the battle. You are not doing what needs to be done, and you've effectively are no longer on the side of right. You are just floating around in there, not participating. And that's not where you want to be, and that's not going to do anything positive for your soul. If you think all it is you got to go and confess your sins and believe that somebody else did the work for you, then like I said, you're not on the path. The other thing is, jacket and tie, come tell me say, clean clothes, come tell me say. It's there's the Bible even speaks about these wolves in sheep's clothing. People are going to think that on appearances they want to dress like someone who's a man of the Creator, who goes to church. I mean, think of all the politicians. I mean, you think of all of the wrongs that have been done in the name of the Bible and Jesus Christ, and in the name of Christianity and Islam and Judaism. All three of these religions, man-made institutions that attempt to create hierarchies and keep between you and creation or the Creator, and all of the harm that has been done by these people who claim to be men of the Creator or followers of the Creator, and in reality, they are participating in the destruction. He says it right there. It was the devil in disguise. And we don't need to take this again so literally. It's not like we're talking about not like this person we're saying is a horned beast with some skin on him that makes him not look like the devil because he's in an actual disguise. This is an allegory. It's representative. It's symbolic of. It can be esoterically understood as representation of an individual who is working against creation, who is participating in systems and institutions that are set up and propped up intentionally to keep us away from doing what is right, from understanding principles, from understanding natural law, from having any spiritual development and growth. And so all of these intermediaries that think that they are some sort of authority over you on earth are participating in the force against creation, the force of involution that is the devil in disguise. When somebody accepts financial resources to do what they know is wrong and to lie or to participate in something, they have made that allegorical deal with the devil. They have caused harm to them, their own souls, and that is what in the end the entity or that force is trying to do, and it's trying to take us off of the path of growing, moving forward with our souls, and to take that energy for their own benefit. And so we need to be aware of these things, and we don't need to look externally for it. We need to come to understand these principles, understand right from wrong, willfully choose to do what's right. That's as simple as it is. It's our choices, it's our works, and that's what will determine the result and the experience that we get. And if we can do this on an aggregate level, the law of freedom says that, if humanity or the choices in aggregate is moral, then we will be free. As morality increases, freedom increases. So the more people that are choosing to do what is right, to do what is moral, the more free that our experience will continue to grow. And that is how we get closer to equal rights and justice, because if we're not free, that means somebody else, some man-made authority is controlling our natural rights and liberties, and we won't have equality as long as anybody is propped up above the others. And so another big thing within natural law, a lot of people, I get a lot of pushback on these ideas. People say, I don't care, I don't want to acknowledge this, I don't believe in this. Well, the reality is this is what it is. and we can accept it for what it is and try to understand it, align with it, and see how it works for our benefit, or we can continue to ignore it. You can try and ignore gravity. Go walk off a building and see how ignoring gravity and pretending like it doesn't exist, how that turns out for you. Natural law is just the exact same way. It affects us whether we want to acknowledge it or not. And it's not here to imprison us or put us in a cage. It is here for our betterment, for our upliftment, for our progress, for our evolution. And so we can, if we just accept these things and understand them, we can harness it and work with it for our betterment and our progress, as opposed to looking at it as something that is binding on, like is holding us back, or as something that is somehow negative, or by trying to reject it and pretend it doesn't exist. The best thing you can do is accept it, learn it, understand it, and align with it, and you'll see how that starts to benefit you and others around you. And so this next song is called "Where You Gonna Run," because there is nowhere to run.
Trying to find. We're all in this race, everybody trying to keep the pace. Can't get away, no, there is no escape. The world is faced with problems and
This is it. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Natural law is the reality. There are consequences for our actions, whether man has created laws and governments or not. We are always going to reap what we sow. There is a cause to every effect. There is a cause. And if we can change the cause, we can change the effect. And so the cause of the wrong results is the wrong actions, the wrong choices. And if we can change and make the right choices and the right actions, we can change the condition or the result. And that is the reality. That is how it is. Try to pretend like it's not that way. You can try and reject it all you want. You can try and change it. But this is how it is. The best thing you can do is to come to understand it, because then you can generate better results, because you can know for a fact that you are choosing what is right. We're all in this race. Everybody trying to keep a pace, but you can't get away. There's no escape. What he's saying there. We are all on this spiritual path. We are all in this spiritual battle. We are all humanity, and we are all here trying to move forward as a species, as a race, the human race. And what is it that we need to do is to move forward, and we're trying to keep a pace, but some people want to reject that we're even here. They're on the sideline. They've been neutralized. They're not even they're not even participating. We're faced with problems and many illusions. The illusions are these man-made things, these man-made institutions that have claimed authority over others, and so many people have accepted that. And then love, wisdom, understanding is the only solution. Obviously, this is where I got the inspiration for my website from, because love is the driving force that is necessary, and this isn't romantic love, and this is a higher love, higher L love, or in the Greek traditions, what they would refer to as agape love. This is a love for all of creation, all of humanity, all of creation equally. All of our brothers being all of our brothers' keepers, understanding that we are one and that we are all each other's brothers and sisters. That love, if that is the force at which we underlie all of our decisions, which also love is the law, is the creator, that natural law is love. It is here for our betterment. If that is the driving force, then that will lead to wisdom. What is wisdom? Wisdom is right action. It's knowledge applied. It's what we do with our understanding or our overstanding. And then I changed it to freedom, because that'll be the result. If we base our actions in love and choose right actions, which is wisdom, and we do that on the aggregate level, then the law of freedom says that will generate freedom. And that is a law within nature. That is part of cause and effect. That is how the universe works. And we have the ability to create that, because we are not the creator, but we all have the ability to create within the confines of the natural laws. There's two aspects to our reality. We have the predetermined aspect, which is natural law, which is unwavering, binding, immutable laws that govern the consequences based on our choices. And then we have the random part, which is free will. We all have the choice to choose right or wrong. And so we're going to generate one result or another. It's either going to be the right result or a wrong result. So in theory, we do have the freedom to choose right or wrong, but if we want the right results, then we really have the freedom to choose right. And again, as I said at the beginning, that is liberty, the freedom to choose what is objectively right. And so accepting that and understanding this is the path forward. Developing that love for humanity and then applying it through right action or wisdom is the solution to generate freedom, which is nature, because we are all created free and equal. And so as long as we're not there, we need to be working towards that. And just more about, people walking around in disguise. They're trying to hide. but it's here with you all the time. Natural law is always here. Even if nobody sees you do wrong or you don't get caught by the so-called man-made authorities, the hands and the eyes register every deed that you do. And so everything you've done. That means the Creator knows everything that you've done. You will be 100% responsible for everything you've done, whether it be in this earthly plane or after, but you will be responsible. You will bear the consequence of every single choice. Now, many people think judgment comes after. I say look around and you can see judgment everywhere around you. And so we are seeing judgment all the time. We are seeing the result of these actions. We are seeing natural law, the judge, the scale, bring justice, and that is wrong results when people are participating in these wrong institutions. And a lot of people will say, well, look at the people at the top. They seem to have they do things that are immoral, that are wrong. They participate, and yet they have all these things. They ostensibly seem to have getting the right results. Well, first of all, what they have or accumulate are these earthly physical possessions, which really aren't going to come with us. Those things aren't that important when it comes to our spiritual development, which really that is our true nature, is spirit. And so they may accumulate these earthly possessions, but they're not accumulating true wealth, which is love, which is gratitude, and really spiritual growth. The other thing is, they themselves view themselves as getting out of a lot of the consequences. Now, I would say they still do, bear the or responsibility for some of this, but the reality is, how many times is a politician or a president actually coming and doing the action that causes the harm? Now, when a president decides this or that, is the president actually taking the action that does the harm? Or is it all the people that are willing to follow the orders, all the people that work, excuse me, that work for the government, all the people who work in the military, all the people that sign up to be police and enforcers of these rules? We think of the Second Amendment, for example. We have the right to self-defense inherent with the right, with the life that we have. And so many people want to think that excuse me, we when we think of our right to excuse me, well, moving forward anyway, the reality is, these laws are binding upon us. We have these rights in nature. I recall what I was going to say. I was going to give the example of Second Amendment right, or the right to bear arms. So we have a right to bear arms because we have a right to defend our lives. And the reality is that the entity that is at odds with our freedom and our rights, i.e. the government, has arms itself. And so we have the ability to defend ourselves to that. So we have the right to have whatever it is commensurate to be able to defend ourselves from that force. And that is inherent to nature. But when some politician, for example, puts down a law that infringes on someone's right to bear arms or anything around that, the politician's not going to show up at your house and take what was right before and now is somehow not within the confines of a right to possess. It's the people who are willing to follow those orders who are actually doing the wrong actions. The politician is not showing up at your house. We'll take another example with cannabis. The politicians could sit around and write that cannabis is illegal, even though it's part of nature, and man really has no right to decide what is right and wrong of nature, because nature is part of creation itself. But they can sit around and decide that all they want, and it wouldn't actually have an effect if people weren't willing to take that as somehow legitimate and follow the orders and go and actually throw people in a cage and take their property and do all the harm that has been done to people for doing what is absolutely objectively a natural right and liberty to do. And so part of the view is that, they are not subject to a lot of the consequence because they are not actively taking the actions that infringe on the rights and do the harm. It's others that have accepted that they are there, that what they've told them is legitimate, and have accepted that claim and go and act on it. And really, the other idea is that they think that they're no longer responsible for those actions because somebody above them told them to do it, gave them the orders. But that's not how it works. Each man is responsible for his own actions, regardless of what somebody else told you to do. You have a conscience. You have a responsibility to determine, is this action a right or is this action a wrong? If this action is a wrong, I cannot take this without generating a wrong result. And if I do, I am responsible, and I will deal with the consequences of it. And so if we don't want to bear these consequences, we need to stop participating, because if we are a cog in that, a pawn in that, we are on that checkerboard floor being played, doing what someone else is telling us to do and doing wrong actions because we don't think we're responsible, well, we are going to bear the responsibility for that. And so now that we're in a place where we've accepted that natural law is in effect, we are doing the work ourselves to get our own house in order, to say no to these systems, to say no to things that are man-made, that are harmful, that are against creation, to not try to externalize what needs to happen. We're taking action ourselves. We're standing firm on our principles. We have done the internal work, and so now we want to go outward and start to teach others, to help bring others in closer to alignment with these principles so that they can start to remove support and generate the right results for themselves as well, and do this on a more broad scale so we can eventually attain that goal of equal rights and justice or freedom. And so this is what in alchemy is considered the one great work of the education and upliftment of humanity. But it is great. It is work. And so one of the most important things you can do is to help bring other people into the fold, or as Peter Tosh would say, recruit soldiers for Jah army. And Jah, again, is referring to the Creator. And so those that are in Jah's army, the soldiers in Jah army, are the freedom fighters, those who are fighting for what is right, for what is true, for what is moral, for what is in alignment with creation or natural law, for standing up for what is right, saying no to what is wrong, and being courageous and willing to stand firm in those principles. And so this next song is called Recruiting Soldiers.
You must go. Children, see them slaughter them like slaves. Hear them come and say, Jah's there, but they never show me his grave. No, no. So I'm recruiting soldiers for Jah. Jah time is now. Lucifer, Moses, they all rise up to fight against Jah and his saints. I can tell you, only to fight Jah and his saints. time is now. Antichrist forces, they all rise up to fight against Jah and his saints. I say, only to fight Jah and his saints. Hear them praising, oh Papa Scabi. Hear them exalting his name. Oh, he's great, yeah. But all these times they've been doing that, I say. If he was here right now, he'd go to jail or say. So I'm recruiting soldiers for Jah army, lightning soldiers. Jah time is now. Antichrist forces, they all rise up to fight against Jah and the saints. I can tell you, only to fight Jah and the saints. There
Okay, so as I said, this is the one great work of uplifting humanity, of elevating consciousness, of progressing humanity forward, evolution, and so this is hard work, and many hands do make light work. So we want to recruit fellow humans to get in alignment themselves, to understand natural law, and then to outwardly start to speak up against the hypocrisies, the injustices, and be a fellow soldier in Jah army, or one who is in alignment with creation, with nature, with natural law, and in alignment with what is right. He talks about Satan forces, they all rise up to fight Jah and his saints. And again, Satan, just like we talked about with the devil, Satan is an allegory, a representation, a symbol. The etymology comes from the word shaitan, which means the opposer, the oppositional force, the force against creation, or the force of involution. And so this is an allegory for that, but it's, the system is always against creation. And so when you stand up and start to do what is right and speak out against the injustices, all those people, the NPCs, the people who, the Agent Smiths, so to speak, all stand up and try to thwart you and put you down and tell you you're wrong, because they're participating in it, and they don't want to do the hard work of the internal work of admitting that they're wrong and taking responsibility for themselves. So they want to perpetuate the system because maybe they don't want to face those facts, or maybe they benefit off of it in this through material possessions and financial gain through the extortion and harassment and dehumanization of others, whether it be through governments or corporations or banks or medical or financial institutions. All of these institutions are working against creation and those that are doing what's right and those that are in alignment with natural law. They also say, Jah is dead. Well, the Creator's not dead. The Creator is eternal. And so the Creator resides within every single one of us. And so this idea that the Creator came into one physical body, was murdered, and now all of a sudden we have nothing to do is again just an illusion to help keep people on the sidelines from doing what actually the hard work that needs to be done. And he says that again right in the next. There's confusion in high places about the lamb that was slain. Well, they're talking about the Lamb of God or the sacrificing of Jesus. And they say they're building a nation, referring to the biblical nation of Israel. But this is all just a game. It's an inversion. They're not actually doing what is talked about. They're not in alignment with what is right, so they can't actually be building anything that is good and moral and true or in alignment with creation. So it's all just an illusion, and it is, the symbolic satanic force, the force against creation. So we all just need to help bring others into the fold so we can speak out against this, because when the voice of truth is louder and we echo that more and more, then we can start to drown out the illusion and the lie and help people come to this understanding. He also references Marcus Garvey, who was also obviously held in high regard in the Rasta culture, and for a lot of the work that he put forth, and his willingness to stand up for his understanding of what was right. And all these people in high places are exalt him and praise him today, but he would be there today still calling out the bullshit and all the wrong and the controversy and the hypocrisy, and he'd probably be jailed just the same. All these people in power want to act like they actually understand it, when he would be calling all of them out on their hypocrisies and contradictions still today, and would still be oppressed, and he would still be fighting for that same thing, because he knows that the fight is still going on until we have attained that goal of equal rights and justice. And so what do we want to recruit soldiers for? We want to recruit them to speak out. And so how do we go about then trying to educate and uplift humanity to do the one great work? We want to put our testament down. We want to put the words down. The world is spoken into existence. So we want to speak the truth. We want to speak what is right. We want to put our testimony down into first how being in alignment with natural law is going to generate the right results for us. We want to bring light to the injustices that we faced as an individual, that we see in our community, as well as that we see abroad, because again, all of humanity is our brothers and sisters. And so as long as there is inequalities somewhere, then we aren't free. As long as there are institutions that are attempting to segregate and prop up people and make some higher than the others, then we aren't going to be free, because we will not be in alignment with natural law, and that does function according to law and is binding on us. So we have to do this if we want to be free. So the first song is this song is called Testify, and this is Peter Tosh's attempt to testify what Jah has done for him, or what the Creator has done for him, and what being in alignment with natural law has done for him. And really, it's about showing gratitude, because we really ought to be grateful for this opportunity to be in a place of understanding, to actually affect change, and to realize that we do have the power to make things different here. If we just learn these things and start to do what is right, we can generate the right results.
I said I'm gonna testify what Jah has done for I. I said I'm gonna testify what Jah has done for I. Yeah. When I'm down, He picks me up. When I'm empty, He fills my cup. When obstacles are in my way, He'll remove them for me, I say. And that's why I'm gonna testify what Jah has done for I. Sing it out loud, and I'm gonna testify what Jah has done for I. When my friends try to fight me down, just say some stay around. Yeah. When they dig pits in the Jah has done for I. I keep on telling you that I, morning, noon, and night, what Jah has done for I. Yeah. While I'm walking through this land, He made me to be a better man. He taught me how to overstand, and He always lead me by my hand, and that's why I got to testify what Jah has done for I. I keep on telling you that I'm gonna testify what Jah has done for I. Every day, every time, I've got to testify what Jah has done for I. Never fails me yet. I can testify.
So testify. We want to put our testimony down. We want to speak the truth. We want to put the words out there, the rhetoric, the wisdom forth to help others to grow. And we need to show gratitude to how that, to be in that position. I'd like to first show gratitude to Peter Tosh for putting forth the work that he did, because he put forth his music in the way that he did, with the words and all the, as he says, the spiritual ingredients, helped me to fully understand natural law. I've listened to reggae music for a long time, and I've heard this message given to me, but it never really got through. It took an understanding of natural law from a left brain logical perspective to work that in as a foundation to give me the clarity and the discernment to actually see what the message I was trying to be given here through Peter Tosh's work. And so I'm grateful for that, and that is why I'm beginning to make my testimony. I'm beginning to testify. I'm beginning to put forth the truth as I understand it now, to show my gratitude for people like Peter Tosh who helped me to understand these things, as well as people like Mark Passio with What on Earth is Happening, which really gave me the foundational knowledge, or the left brain logical linear approach to natural law, to like I said, have the discernment to receive all these messages, that opened my eyes to truly see and my ears to hear, and now then Peter Tosh came and allowed me to feel it through the music, and so it's so important to put this forth, because this is everything that we put forth is going to determine what people are learning in the future and their understanding, and if we can make the music and culture and things be reflective of things that are positive and morally uplifting and in alignment with truth and natural law, then we can ingrain these messages, and these principles can become common sense again, and we can be in a place, not in a place of peace and utopia, but in a place where we are equal in our rights, and that we will have justice, and that things will be reflective of the natural way of things, and we will be more in alignment with what is true and what is right. And so part of what he's saying in this song is, when I'm down, he picks me up. When I'm empty, he fills my cup. When obstacles are in my way, he removes them for me. Basically, when you choose to do what's right, the universe will have your back. The Creator will be there with you. The universe rewards unity consciousness. When we have done the work to get into alignment with our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions are reflective of both our thoughts and emotions, and those are in alignment with what is true and right, because we have a proper understanding of natural law. Things will start to work out for you. Not meaning everything's going to work out perfect and there's never going to be a hiccup. But if you have the courage to step into that and to do what is right and to take that first step into progress, and you do start to remove support and say no and to get into alignment, things will start to work with you. The universe will have your back, and obstacles will be, allegorically removed for you. And so we need to have that confidence and to start to do what's right. And it's an experiment. If you're very much into science and everything needs to have evidence for you, go ahead and try this. Let this be a science experiment. Go and see what happens if you choose to do what is morally right, and you stand in those principles, and you work from a place of love and not fear, and you see what the results are, and you begin to take tally of that, and you see how it affects you and others around you. Again, Satan is working every day trying to lead you all astray. Be careful of who you obey, or you'll be going in Satan's way. And again, this is not a being that we're worried about, that is sneaking around, putting, whispering in people's ears, on people's shoulders. This is allegorical for that force against creation. And if you're obeying any man, then you are obeying an individual who thinks that they are the authority here, which means they are not in alignment with natural law. They are not in alignment with creation. They are then working against creation. They are in opposition to creation. They are working on the side of Satan allegorically, or that force that is working against the creator, or that creative force of love. So that is fear manifested, which is government. All of that fear has led to control, and that always creates chaotic results. He also says, when I'm walking through this land, he make me to be a better man, because when you understand that what is right, and you choose to do it, you also feel that, and you start to do what is right even more. He'll teach you how to understand. As you see these things play out, you will learn that by being in alignment with what is right does generate the right results. And so we need to do that, and part of that is pointing out what is wrong. And one of the primary wrongs or injustices that was brought upon Peter Tosh in his life was kind of the humiliation and dehumanization that came with the use of herb or cannabis. Again, a natural herb, part of creation, put here by the creator of the universe, nature itself. And man has attempted to create criminals by thinking that they have the authority to outlaw what is part of creation. And so the Rastas as a whole have been harassed because it is known that the use of herb is a sacrament within their spiritual traditions, and all types of governments, man-made institutions have tried to outlaw nature, and done a lot of wrongs to human nature itself. And he talks about some of that in his music here, and in a song called Bush Doctor.
Warning. The Surgeon General warns. Cigarette smoking is dangerous. Dangerous. Hazard to your health. Does that mean anything to you? Them legalize marijuana right here in Jamaica, yeah. Them say it cure glaucoma, yeah. I'm another bush doctor. Marijuana, down here in Jamaica,
marijuana. Down here in Jamaica, yeah, it can build up a failing economy, yeah. Eliminate the slavish mentality, so there'll be no more illegal humiliation. No more police intervention. Legalize marijuana.
And so it's just one of the most obvious hypocrisies amongst government and man's law, and this entire illusion that man has authority here on this earthly plane, is all of these drug laws, and especially the laws around cannabis, an herb that was put here by the Creator, that has an immense amount of benefits, not only for our physical health and well-being, but for our spiritual health and well-being. It can be used to make clothing. It can be used to make rope. It can be used to make paper. It can be used as a great source of protein. It can be used to build homes. I mean, the amount of uses from a plant that grows on an annual basis. So instead of cutting down forests, old growth redwood trees and old growth fir forests in Canada for all this paper and building lumber, we could be using a renewable crop that we could plant every year that also does all types of wonders for the soil and the environment around it. And so this thing that is part of creation was put here by the Creator for our benefit, for our use, our upliftment, and all kinds of different beneficial uses. That's not even getting into the more serious health issues that it can help with. And yet we've turned this into something that we've said is illegal. All the while, it's ostensibly for our health. All the while, cigarettes and alcohol and all these things that man has created that serves destruction, that harms our body, are legal and acceptable and totally acceptable. Even today, where cannabis has been legal in a lot of places, people are still under the programming that it's somehow a harmful drug or it's wrong. You'll sit around at a family function and everybody's okay with people mixing drinks and putting alcohol and poisoning themselves and acting ridiculous. But if anybody starts to talk about or use any cannabis, it's seen as this wrong thing, or like you're doing something that's harmful to the children, when in reality, we're somehow making these other things that are actually provably harmful with no real good benefits are normalized and acceptable in our society and culture. And yet somebody who uses something that is God created and natural, part of nature, can be thrown into a cage and sometimes have their life taken, their property taken. I mean, police have raided cannabis farms, people growing herbs in their garden on their private property, and police have shown up armed in helicopters and traumatizing people. He talks about there'll be no more smoking and feeling tense, and when I see them, I don't have to jump no fence. As somebody who has used cannabis for a long time, there's a trauma to that where you're constantly, driving around, you feel like you're going to get pulled over and harassed. You feel like, anywhere somebody might smell it on you. It's not so bad today, but when I was younger, I mean, I had to go, and I was arrested at 17 years old for having a spliff, a one blunt in the glove box in the passenger seat of a car. Was charged with possession of herb and lost my driver's license for multiple years, had to do counseling, and was treated like I was some sort of criminal when I was still doing great in school. I was participating in sports. I had a job at the Boys and Girls Club, and yet I was still treated as if I was some sort of thug or criminal because I chose to partake in a natural herb. And it's even worse for people who have been thrown into a cage. I mean, imagine the crime against humanity. No more disrespect and police brutality and disrespect for humanity. It's the same thing as Thomas Jefferson said. It's a crime against human nature itself, because human nature has rights, and we have the right and liberty to do what we so choose, so long as we're not causing harm. And so if we're choosing to use herbs and a natural herb at that, for our own spiritual growth or to help with ailments or whatever it may be, we have the right to do that. And when a police officer comes in and infringes on your rights and your liberties, takes your property and harms you, they have done wrong. They have committed a crime against humanity. It is illegal humiliation, not illegal against man's law, illegal against natural law, our natural rights and our natural liberties. And so as long as people think that man has the right to outlaw nature, we are not free. And if you believe in that, then you have bought a lie and an illusion, because man does not have the authority. Man can't outlaw God. You can't outlaw nature. You can't outlaw the creation. You can't outlaw what is part of creation. We can't outlaw gravity. We can't outlaw what is part of nature. We don't have that authority here. That is not our role. And so as long as we attempt to be that on this earth, we will create wrong results, because we are not acting equally, and we are attempting to take what is not ours. And that's other people's rights, and that's other people's liberties. And we won't be free, and you're not creating any kind of order by participating in anything that infringes on natural rights, especially in regard to a natural herb like cannabis. And so we'll look a little bit more into Peter Tosh and how he explains this hypocrisy and contradiction. Obviously, this is one that is near and dear to me in my personal situation and my experience in life. Someone who has been made to feel like a criminal, like I need to hide, even though I was not doing wrong. I was within my rights, and I knew that, but the reality around me or the condition around me didn't reflect that. And so we need to still continue, because even these states that so-called legalize cannabis, all they've done is commercialize it. You go to California and you can still be arrested for possessing cannabis, and that's ridiculous in a state that it's ostensibly been legal since 1996. We're sitting here in 2025, and people are still being thrown in cages for possessing herbs, natural herbs. And so it's something we still need to speak out until it's treated like the natural herb that it is, and is like any other plant, tomato, corn, whatever it is. Then we have not gotten to where we need to be, and we are not in alignment with natural law.
I know, and the world know that herb was created for the use of man. And to every creation there is an imitation. See? And to every reality there is a fantasy. See? Herb was created for the use of man. Cigarettes and all those things was invented for the destruction of man. Herb was here before man. See? So that means if man come to violate the laws of who created herb, because herb is not an evolution. See? It is creation. And it was created by a divine mind for divine purposes.
So he says, who come to violate the laws of who created herb, which who created herb? Not man, the creator created herb, or nature itself. Herb is part of that. And so we come to violate the laws of that and attempt to control people's rights and nature itself, and we are not in alignment. We are the imitation. That is the illusion. You are not in alignment if you're buying that. So this is coming up as a speech from a concert in Montego Bay in Jamaica, where the reggae artists were still criminalized and abused over the use of herb in Jamaica, their home country, and it even there, not even just in the United States, people were actually treated worsely, and it was just another tool to dehumanize and harass a segment of the population that didn't go along with the system of involution, with that satanic system, with that the Babylon system, as they refer to it as.
A guy in this 21st century going to tell us they going to lock you up for a split. I walk the streets of America and a police there not tell me that because he knows he's violating my constitutional rights. And I don't want them to believe that I don't know that we have a constitutional rights. Not only a constitutional rights that was written by men, but a divine right that was laid down by the hands of the Almighty Jah Rastafari, and it must be respected. Learn that.
See, any attempt to harass somebody over the use of herb is a violation of their constitutional right. And like you said, not just a constitutional right that people wrote down on a piece of paper. That's a man-made so-called granting of rights, which we don't have the right to do because, again, they're granted by the Creator. But he also says a divine right put down by the Creator, by the Almighty. It is part of nature. We have a right to do as we please. We have a right to our body, and we have a right to live our life so as we choose, as long as we're not harming other beings. And using a natural herb is my choice, my body. I have that decision, and nobody else has a right to control me or try and throw me in a cage or steal from me or limit any other thing because of my choice to do that. And they never had a right to do it at any point in the past. They don't have a right to do it today, and they'll never have a right to do it in the future. And as long as that is still happening, then we are not in alignment with what is right, because it is objectively wrong. And so, you know, we need to continue to speak up against this injustice, and it needs to be respected. Nature needs to be respected. Creation needs to be respected. But, you know, this isn't just about my freedom, my rights. It's about each and every one of our rights, because every individual, every human being, every man is my brother, every woman is my sister under the Father, the Creator. And so we need to learn that, and we need to speak up against the injustices that we see, not just on our own personal life, but around us in our community as well. And this song, the next song is "Fools Die for Want of Wisdom," and the clip I took is actually also from that Red X Stepping Razor documentary / autobiography, and he attempts to try and convey some wisdom onto humanity so that we can stop being so foolish.
Poverty was designed and designated by bureaucrats and politicians and leaders of churches and states to see to it that the Rastaman stay in the category of poverty and want and the needs, so he will break down and start to commit crime. But then again, when I look around me in Trenchtown, all I see was poor, ambitious people who had the ambition and the integrity and the divine qualities sometimes and dignity of a millionaire.
The lips of the righteous teaches many, but fools die for want of wisdom. The rich man's wealth is in the city.
soul is vanity. Destruction of the poor is their poverty. The poor man's wealth is in a holy, holy place. Why do you fight each other? Why do you kill your brother? Then your reward will be the same tree.
Yeah, because this is the music come from pain, suffering, and yet high, loyal, dignified, majestic vibes, you know, that when you play it, you forget everything. Because, you know, music take all pain, all sorrow. You just think like a heavenly plane you reach, you know. So, Rasta go hand in hand with that because it's from the heartbeat, you know. That's where it comes from.
And so, you know, he's really trying to bring attention to the poverty and the lack that has been created and has been used as a tool to keep people down and to keep people from understanding their rights and the truth of things and their own power as individuals. And that's why it says the lips of the righteous teaches many. You know, the people that do understand what is right and choose to do what is right and then put that forth through wisdom, through right action, can teach many people. And that is the one great work. That is what we're trying to do here today. And that's what Peter Tosh set out to do and has successfully done for many individuals. But we need to keep that going so that we can continue, as Thomas Jefferson said, to move the ball of liberty forward. And, you know, he says, destruction of the poor is their poverty. You know, poverty is manufactured. You know, the Creator put an abundance on this earth and plenty on this earth to sustain all the individuals that could ever be created upon it. And so the existence of poverty and inequality and lack comes from not being in alignment with what is true and right. You know, the cities are a lot of the problems with that. You know, the rich man's wealth is in the city. Well, why is it in the city? Because you get so many people into a population center that they can't be dependent on themselves anymore. There's no space to grow your food, to have energy, to have space, to have your rights and your freedom and your liberty. You're all packed in together, and you're more easily controllable. You're removed further from nature. It puts you in a more of a group mindset and it makes you more susceptible to the influences of the group as opposed to the individual and the individual's connection and value and connection with creation, I and I. And you know, so this lack is manufactured, and it is that system that is built up, the illusion and lie that has been propped up to keep us away from what is right, and our participation in it is what perpetuates and makes this persist. You know, why do we fight each other? Why do you kill your brother? Then your reward will be the cemetery. As long as you take what's not yours and cause harm to your brothers and your sisters, which is all of humankind, all men and all women on this planet, then you're not going to get the right result. You're going to end up buried in the grave, and your soul's not going to be doing what it needs to do. You know, we got to clean up Jah's creation, the Creator's creation. We need to be in alignment with the Creator, which is to be in alignment with the law the Creator put forth, which is natural law. Or there'll be no future for you and me, because we are going to reap what we sow. And if we continue on this path of destruction, then destruction will be the result. And so if we want to be in alignment, we want to get a better result, we need to learn the right things so we can choose the right choices and the right actions, and we can generate right results. And we, again, need to do that on a mass scale so we can truly clean up Jah's creation and build a better nation. And that's not some area that a particular government has authority over. A nation is a group of people we are all one nation under God, and we all are created under that same Creator. And so we need to recognize that and start working towards being in alignment with that. And we need to also speak up. Not these issues don't only affect us on a personal level or in our community, just around us in our personal lives and kind of our adjacent areas. We need to, if there's injustice anywhere in the world, again, we are not free. And so, Peter Tosh didn't just spend time talking about injustices that affected him and his community. He was talking about injustices worldwide. And one of the big things going on during his life was apartheid. And you just think of the green language there. Apart hide. People were separated based upon their hide or their skin, their color, just the outer shell, even though we all are spirit and soul and connected on a more deep level. We all are brothers and sisters under creation, and yet people attempt to separate all these equal individuals and segregate them into different groups with different worths and values, and that will never be in alignment with creation, because in creation we all are created free. And so this next song is called Fight Apartheid, and it's obviously a statement in opposition to an immoral system that was not in alignment and was a crime against human nature itself.
Milan, quite illegal. You're in a Milan, dig out me gold. In a Milan, digging out the pearl. In a Milan, dig out me diamond. We are gonna fight against the apartheid. We got to fight against the apartheid. You're in a Milan, and you build up your parliament. You're in a Milan, you build up your regime. You're in a Milan, only talk about justice. You're in a Milan, handing down injustice. We gonna fight against apartheid. Brothers got to fight against apartheid. You're in a Milan, you know build no school for black children. You're in a Milan, no hospital for black people. You're in a Milan, you build pure prison. You're in a Milan, you build pure camp. We got to fight against apartheid. We gonna fight against apartheid. Africa is for black man. Remember, and certain place in Africa, black man get no recognition. So we have to fight, 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 fight against apartheid. Black man got to fight, 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 fight against apartheid. Cross the border, we shoot after children. Cross the border, shoot down women. Cross the border, you take your mind. Cross the border, the beats were right. We gonna fight, 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 fight against apartheid. We got to fight, 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 fight against apartheid. Ask for majority, majority rule. Yeah. You need minority, but that couldn't rule. Yeah. So we gon' fight, 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 fight against apartheid. We gonna fight, 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 fight against apartheid.
So, he obviously was speaking up against something he saw and understood that was objectively wrong, because what happened was the people in South Africa were living in the times of colonialism and imperialism. The British came there and established a government and claimed authority over the people there, divided them, put them into the land that was less desirable, only allowed them to work the jobs that were demoralizing, hard work, low standard jobs, and only allow them into certain areas. Same as the segregation that happened here in the United States. And as long as we're attempting to prop up these things that divide human beings, we are not going to be in alignment with what is right. He said, "Ye enemy land quite illegal," and again, not illegal because Britain is the ones who claimed to create the government there and created the laws. And so it wasn't illegal according to man's law. It's illegal according to natural law. It's not in alignment with natural law. It is immoral objectively. And the worst part is what are they in their land for? For gold and diamonds and uranium. So for physical material possessions and for destruction, uranium, so they can build bombs. They try to say they come there to bring them culture and to help bring them up. But they show up, they don't build schools for children, they don't build hospitals for the people. What do they build? They build prisons and army camps. Because what is it really all about? It's all about control. It's about people trying to be dominators over other people, trying to control others where they don't have the right to control people. It's quite illegal, right where they are. They got their forces from colonial powers, taking diamonds to finance ballistic missiles. So you're in there subjugating an entire people, separating them, treating them as if they're less, even though in creation they are exactly equal. All for what? For destruction, to destroy, to kill, for control. All these things that are not in alignment with nature. This is Babylon. This is the force of involution. This is Satan. This is all of those things that are not going with creation and trying to move humanity forward, but are trying to destroy, trying to usurp, trying to infringe upon, trying to suck the life force energy off of. It's this entire idea of separating people based on their color of their skin is always going to be wrong. And it doesn't matter who's doing it, or if it's illegal or legal or accepted, or the majority decide that this is acceptable. It is always wrong. Even if everybody but one person is saying it's wrong, it will still be wrong because it's wrong in nature. Man doesn't get to decide that. Man gets the opportunity to understand it and align with it if they want to generate the right result. But they don't get to change what is right and wrong. It is part of nature. It is natural law. He says it right there. Everything you do is wrong. Everything you do is upside down. And you buried yourself too deep. This whole system has gotten so deep. We're so far deep in all of this made up stuff, this paper money that has no true value to it, this entire system of government and control, this army and this military and all of this so-called terrorists we're fighting, and we're policing the entire world. We've taken it even further from not just policing people in our own country, which we are doing to an extreme today, sending troops into cities on our own land, our own people fighting our own people, something that most people say they would never do. Yet they're willing to do it if they're told that these people are somehow different or lower. But again, we are all equal, and we're just digging the hole deeper and deeper as long as we continue to participate in this, in any of these systems of government, because all systems of government attempt to create a master class and a slave class, and that does not exist in nature. And this is why they call it Babylon's system. Babylon's system, as Peter Tosh says, is the vampire. And so that's the next song that we're going to move into. It's called Vampire. Because we want to speak out not only against the injustices happening, but we want to bring light to what's causing this. What is the reason for this?
Only like to see you suffer on the set of vampires, on the old vampires. Only trod upon creation with your bloody meditation on the set of vampires. On the fight against awfulness, on the fight against creation, on the fight against everything good for the younger generation. On the old vampire, on the wickedness at midnight, and on the humble when it's daylight. On the set up vampire, on the old vampires, only like to see blood running. Make sure you know it's fire burning on the set of vampire. I wanna fight against awfulness, fight against creation. You fight against everything good for the younger generation. Oh, vampire, only tried upon creation, stuck in the blood of the nation. On the set of vampire. Have no place for the new wine on the set of vampires. Gonna fight against morality, you fight against integrity, fight against everything good for the younger generation. Gonna old vampire, gonna try upon creation with your bloody meditation. Gonna set a vampire.
So he refers to the system as a vampire. So let's think about what is that symbolic of. What does a vampire do? A vampire feeds off the blood of other living things, meaning it derives its energy from the life force energy of other individuals. Now, what can you think of that doesn't really have any energy itself, but feeds off of the energy of all the individuals that participate? Government. It does not create anything itself. It is an entity of people propped up and declared to have this right that just seeks to feed off of all the people. It's all this control system. How can we control and tax everything so we can extract as much value for ourselves, since we're not creating anything? So it's a parasite. It just seeks to suck off of all the individuals. It's fighting against upfulness, fighting against creation itself, fighting against everything good for the younger generation. I mean, does this not sound like government today? I mean, our government is literally forcing upon and institutionalizing the inversion. All the things that are not in alignment with what is moral and what is right is what government does. And they've duped people into thinking there's somehow like two parties, and one group is fighting for right and the other's fighting for wrong, and they're two wings of the same nut. They're both just progressing a larger control system and a larger government just through different means. They convince half the population to increase the violence arm through by telling people we have terrorists and immigrants and criminal liberal cities, and all the people who supposedly know about self-defense and would stand up for their rights are cheering on the use of violence by the government through military and police. And then the other half of the population pretends to care and wants to tax everybody for everything and spend and give away everything. All immoral. You can't steal from people and you can't infringe on others' rights. Okay, we don't have a right to control others. We don't have a right to steal from others. We don't have a right to regulate others' freedoms and natural right. That is the entire thing of government, and it's all to feed off of others. And so, why are we participating in this? Why do we think this is necessary? Do we truly believe that human beings can't be adults and choose to do what's right without the threat of some thug dressed in a bulletproof vest putting a gun in your face trying to throw you in a cage? That's the only way that somebody's going to do what's right. If that's where we're at, then that's the problem. We need to educate people on the fact that there are consequences outside of government thugs, and those consequences are natural law. They are part of nature, and we are getting them all the time. And so we need to learn that, and because we are receiving the consequences, we are attempting to enforce the consequences and bring them ourselves as somehow the authority or the true judge, but we are not in that position. And as long as we attempt to do that, we are wrong, and we're generating wrong results. And going to fight against morality and fight against integrity. That's just it. Why does it want to fight against morality? Because if we're moral, we'll be free. If we understand right from wrong, we can choose right and we can generate freedom. They don't want that because the control system relies on us being out of alignment, because then they can justify their control systems. They can point, look at, this is what humans are like, and this is why we have to have these control systems. Otherwise, it would be chaos. When really we are existing in chaos currently. I mean, the fact that you can't own a home without being stolen from on an annual basis. Think of this. So you earn resources, and you're stolen from every time you earn those resources. And then you use those resources to purchase a home to live in, and you're stolen from in that transaction. And then just because you continue to own this, they steal from you on an annual basis every single year going forward in perpetuity because they said so. Now, how in the world can a system based on stealing from you like that ever generate anything good? It never can. And even if there's some little goods that happen from it, the means matter. The ends don't justify the means. If we're going to choose to do things in a wrong way, we're going to generate wrong results every time. It functions according to law. That is how it is. And, the reality is that this vampire, this force against creation, this entity that is usurping our natural rights, infringing upon our natural rights and liberties, is growing and getting stronger. And we have to be honest about that. We're not winning. And so the responsibility is there. We need to do something about it. And it starts with saying no. And then it begins to move forward into speaking up and speaking out against these injustices, because we need to do what's right. We need to give them a beating because they are wrong. We are in our right to stand up to that, and we need to do so. So this song is called "Them Have to Get to Beatin'," and this is what needs to happen here.
Due to
unfavorable financial condition. I am unable to cope with this financial situation. Is causing an inflation upon creation.
I can't stand this no longer. The wicked get stronger. I can't stand this no longer, cause the battle is getting hotter. But them have to get a big, the wicked have to get a big, yeah. They must get a big, yeah. The wicked have to get a big. Against the wall, one step to progress, my brother, and I know Jah will help me all. And them have to get a big, Lord. Them must get a big, yeah. Them have to get a big, I see. And them can't get away. I can't stand this no longer. The wicked get stronger. I can't stand this no longer, cause even cockroach get no far. Me said them have to get a big, yeah. Them must get a big, Lord. Them have to get a big, yeah. Them must get a big, oh. Tell me how long must the good suffer for the bad? And every time the good open his mouth, the bad say, you must be mad. Them have to get a big, Lord. Them must get a big, yeah. Them have to get a big, Lord. And them can't get away.
And so I know, when we think about this and we're honest about the situation and we realize that the wicked are getting stronger, the battle is getting hotter, there is a battle, we acknowledge that, we realize it is getting worse, things are progressing in the wrong direction, eventually we feel frustrated and we can't stand this no longer. And that's good. We're supposed to feel that. We need to feel that, and we need to deal with that, and we need to channel that righteous anger because it is righteous anger, because we're mad at things that are wrong, injustices that are wrong within humanity and all around us in our personal life and affecting others. And we feel that, and we have to develop that care, and then we channel that righteous anger into action, into right action, into wisdom. What are we going to do? First, we take care of ourselves. We get our house in order and our actions in alignment. We begin to say no, and then we begin to speak out. We have to develop this care if we're going to take action. You have to acknowledge the reality of things. You have to understand that we are not in a winning position right now, and that if we want to affect change, action is going to be required, and we're going to need to channel that anger towards the right. We've waited till our backs are against the wall. So many people say, I'll stand up when they come for my guns or this or that. Well, they've already come for those in many places, really everywhere but the U.S., and they've continued to incrementally do that on a daily basis here as well. And so it's like we've waited till our backs are against the wall. We have to do something. It's like, why do we want to wait until we're pinned up with our back against the wall and everyone to where we're basically have to submit and surrender, which is what we've almost done by allowing this control system and this AI grid and the government and military to grow to such an extent, and to have the weapons, the advancement in weapons disproportionate to what the people have. We've put ourselves in a position where our backs are against the wall, but natural law and the universe and the Creator will have your back if you choose to do right. He will help you all. If we take that first step to progress, He will help us all. The Creator will, natural law will, according to law, step in there. And so how long do we need to suffer for the bad? And He also meant every time the good open his mouth, the bad say you must be mad. Every time someone tries to speak the truth and speak out against this, they're made to look crazy. They're the outcast. They're the strange one because they're not conforming to what society and everybody else is doing. Look around. This is what everybody else does. Why are you trying to go against that? What makes you special? Well, just because I've come to realize and understand that this is all a lie and an illusion, and I'm trying to align with what is actually true and right and moral and in alignment with natural law and creation. People want to act as if I'm crazy or I'm mad because I'm acknowledging the reality of things. And that tends to happen all the time. People talk like that about Peter Tosh and many other people. Almost anyone who's going to go against the grain and against society and against the system is going to be made to look like they're crazy in some sort of way. I also wanted to bring it back to that righteous anger. That we feel anger for a reason, and that if we channel that to do what is right, to take right action, that can be a very powerful force for making change and affecting positive change for the right. Many people look at reggae as this kind of peace and love thing, but obviously I think I've shown with Peter Tosh's lyrics that he's very confrontational. And I'd like to show this clip that talks about some of the righteous anger he felt in his own experience making music and trying to make moral music for the upliftment of humanity, and not getting commercial success or recognized by the very record labels because they are part of the control system. They don't want to make his music as popular as other music. They want to highlight the other music that keeps people off the path and distracted. He recognized this, and he was very upset and angry about it. And you can see this in this interview that he had in New York, where he displayed some of that righteous anger.
And all because, you know why? I am not singing, darling, I blood clot, love you, and come shake my rask, and I swim the ocean and climb the mountain. See? And that not going to change me. See? Because I am going to kill the fuckery out there. And people is going to be in demand for the truth. People is sick and tired of hearing bomber clot, get down, shake your fucking booty. See? People is sick and tired of hearing, darling, I blood clot, love you. You turn on the fucking radio 24 bomber clot hours a day. You hear, darling, I love you. A man wouldn't sing to the almighty ras clot. Him love him woman more than the creator who create the sun, the moon, and the bomber clot star. I sick and tired of hearing that bomber blood clot. Sin.
And so you can see the righteous anger there. We put all this value into people making songs about I love you this and I love you that, but when somebody actually expresses gratitude to the creator, that kind of music isn't looked upon as popular or good or accepted by the masses. That can be frustrating when you spend your time putting out the great work, and that system, the control system today would be algorithms and censoring and things on YouTube and other platforms that don't want this message to get out there. It's the same things are happening that were happening to him as are happening to people speaking the truth and trying to uplift humanity today. And that can lead to a righteous anger that can be expressed in this way at times. And we need to channel that and move it forward. And we really need to develop an attitude of resilience and to be steadfast and to know that what we're doing is right. And he expresses the need to develop this in the next song we'll look at, called Not Gonna Give It Up.
And this one is called Not Gonna Give It Up.
And Africans are free. slaves are free. To be poor is a hurtful pain, and living in poverty is a burning shame. So help yourself, 'cause man, you're not lame. You are not lame. That is why I am not. Said I'm not. I'm not gonna give it up. I'm not going. I'm not. I said I'm not. I'm not gonna give it up. I'm not going. I'm not.
So that right there is the attitude that we got to develop. We got to have that level of commitment to the cause. You know, he's not gonna give it up, and you can see that he means what he says when he's saying that. And he's not going to give it up till Africa and Africans are free, really, until all people are free. If not every person in humanity is not free, then we are not free, because we are all equal in creation. And as long as there is a system, a man-made system of inequality and hierarchy, then we are not equal, we are not free. And that means we're not in alignment with what is. And as somebody who understands that, there's a responsibility to continue to fight for that and speak up against it until we realize that. Whether that happens in this life or not, we got to just remain committed. We need to be steadfast. We need to have the confidence and the courage to just do what's right and stand up and know that is the right thing to do, regardless of what the outcome may be. He says, I know that slave drivers just don't care. They just don't care. And that's just it. You know, what is somebody who decides to join the dominator culture, a culture of government and usurpation of rights and control, the control system? Somebody who chooses to be that, a slave driver, chooses to create or participate in this master-slave relationship. And if you're a slave driver, you're also a slave on some level. Anybody who's a master is also a slave. Once you engage in that master-slave relationship, you are always both. You may be depending on, each person may be a master to more or less and a slave to more or less, but you are always a slave at some level if you're a master or think you're a master of others. And they just don't care, because what are they? It's the 7-7. It's 1-7 short. The 77 is representative of thoughts and actions, missing care. This is what Christianity is. I mean, you think of Christianity, if the Father, the Mother, and the Son are representative thought, emotion, and action, they've removed true care, emotion. They removed the mother figure and turned her into a ghost, the Holy Spirit. So you have the Father figure, the Father of all, everything is thought. And so the creator, the creative force is thought, the generative principle. And so everything begins as a thought. And then when we imbue it with care, then when we do it, when we take action, which is born out into the world as the male, represented by the male child or the son, that's brought into the world. And if we remove the care, then we're just action and thought, which without care creates destruction. And that is the whole system that we're, this male dominator system. That is what Christianity has become as a religion. They've turned care into a spirit. That is also why, the emotion or the care you have is the spirit in which you do something. But they've turned it into a ghost. And so we need to restore true care. We need to restore that feminine principle that is within each and every one of us, if we're going to exit this master-slave relationship. We need to have care for ourselves and care for higher self, which is care for each and every one of creation itself and all of our brothers and sisters in creation. He also says we got to fight because it's not wrong. Why is it not wrong? Because the system is wrong. and it's infringing on your rights, and you have a right to self-defense because you have a right to stand up for what is right. When somebody is wrong and infringing on your natural rights and liberties, you are in the right. You are not wrong when you stand up and resist that. And that's what we need to do because it is right. And the last one, help yourself, man, because you are not lame. That's it. You're not lame. Every single one of us has what we need to make this, do this process internally and to adjust our actions. Every single person is capable of learning right from wrong and willfully choosing right because they know that that will generate the right result for ourselves and humanity. Every single person is capable of that. We weren't put on this earth without the tools to survive and live upon it. And so we have what we need, and this system, all of these systems are meant to make us question our worth and our value and our individual capabilities, and you know, they defamate our character and underestimate our authority, and that's the authority over ourselves. And as long as as long as we buy those illusions, then we're perpetuating this system. So we need to understand that we do have what it takes. We can do it as individuals. We just need to develop courage, and we need to be tough, which perfect segue into the next song called I'm the Toughest.
Try to do what I do, I'm the toughest. Stop from doing wrongs, change your foolish plans. Stop from doing wrongs, live up like a man, I'm the toughest. I'm the toughest. Now my little brothers, you got to be good. Do what's right, yeah. Don't be bad-minded. Take what's yours, and there'll be no fuss and fight. And I say anything you can do, I can do it better. I'm the toughest. I'm the toughest, and I can do what you can't do. You never try to do what I do. I'm the toughest. I'm the toughest. Just live up like a man. I'm the toughest. I'm the toughest. Now my brothers, you got to be good. Just do what you know is right. Don't be bad-minded. Just take what's yours, and there'll be no fuss or fight. And I say anything you can do, I can do it better. I'm the toughest. I'm the toughest. And I can do what you can't do. You never try to do what I do. I'm the toughest. I'm the toughest. I'm the toughest. Say I'm the toughest. 'Cause anything you can do, I can do better. I'm the toughest. You can do, I can do better. Say I'm the toughest. I'm the toughest. I say to love my brother. I say to love covet my neighbor, and I love my neighbor. Said I'm the toughest.
So I just absolutely love this song now because for everybody still caught in ego and still, unwilling to do the work, it's a challenge. Are you tough enough? Are you a man? Because really, what makes a man? Does a man follow orders? Does a man need a master? Does a real man need somebody dressed in a bulletproof vest, acting like a thug for the government to make him do what's right? I mean, are you not tough enough to learn right from wrong and to choose to do right willfully? I mean, you can't go around in your life without taking what's not yours, taking things from other people, infringing on other people's rights, trying to control people. What are you scared of? What are people so scared of? If you're really a man, then you don't need a government to tell you to do what's right. You don't need anybody to come and tell you to stop taking things that aren't yours, to stop trying to control people you don't have a right to control. Because the only thing anybody ever has a right to control is their own thoughts, their own emotions, and their own actions. And if we truly are tough, then that's all we need to do. It's just a beautiful way to put it, because so many people are still caught in ego, and this challenge will make people think about it again because they think they're tough. They think they're a man. But are you a man? Are you tough? Stop from doing wrongs. Change your foolish plans. That means if you're working a job that is immoral or is based on an immoral institution, be a man and stand up to it and say no. Have the courage to stop participating. Have the courage to say, I don't need a master. I don't need anybody to tell me what to do. I don't need anybody to control me. I'm a sovereign. I'm a lion. I have come to that understanding myself, and I'm going to willfully do what's right because I'm a man. Because I'm not a child anymore. I've learned right from wrong. I've been raised. Do what's right. Don't be bad-minded. Take what's yours, and there'll be no fuss or fight. And what's yours? Your rights, your property, your life, your liberty. Nobody else's. Your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. That's what you have a right to control. Don't take what's not yours. Don't take other people's rights. Don't infringe on their freedom. Don't steal from them through taxation. Don't take money that was stolen from somebody else through taxation. Don't work for a job that steals your money. Don't participate in any of these systems. If you choose to use herb, stand up and do it and use it. And don't let someone try and control you when you're exercising a natural right or liberty. And this also is more powerful when we are in alignment with what is right. You got to do what you know is right. What you know is right, meaning you've spent the time to know it, and it is knowable. It takes time. You have to learn it. You spend the time to study. You come to this understanding, and then when you know it, you do what you know is right every time, and that is going to generate the right results. And that's a tough man. Someone that says, I'm not going to let this threat of violence coerce me into doing something that I know to be morally wrong. I'm not going to, for money, continue to participate in a job that I know is immoral and is wrong and is not in alignment with natural law. You got to have that courage. You got to be tough enough. I know that everyone has that capability and is tough enough, and so I'm just asking everyone to be the man that you are. Have that courage. Step up. Do what is right. Stop being bad-minded. Take what's yours, and there'll be no fuss or fight, all right? And so, the best way to do that is to understand these principles and to understand one of the other parts of natural law, and that is oneness, that we all are derived from the same source. We all are created equal. We all have equal rights under the Creator because the rights come from the Creator, not from man. Man doesn't decide these things. And so once we learn that everyone is your brother and sister because there is one Father, the Creator, then we can start to move forward together. This song is called Come Together.
Learn to love one another. Love one another. I say, yeah. We got to come together. Learn to love one another. Love one another. I say, yeah. We got to come together. Learn to love your brother. Love your brother. I say, yeah. We got to come together. Learn to love your sister. Love your sister. One eye can't see, one ear don't hear, one hand can't clap, one foot don't run. You better come together. Learn to love one another. Love one another. I say, yeah. We got to come together. Learn to love each other. Love each other. I say, yeah. We got to come together. Learn to love your brother and your sister. We got to come together. Learn to love each other. Love each other. I say, hey, where do we go from here? Is it here, there, or nowhere? I say, where do we go from here? Is it here, there, or nowhere? We better come together. Learn to love and respect your brother. Your brother. I say, yeah. We got to come together. Learn to love each other. Love each other.
It's definitely a requirement. We have to come together because if we're divided, we're easier to conquer. You know, that is a primary strategy and tactic meant to keep us from creating freedom here because as long as we're fighting amongst each other, as long as it's left versus right, male versus female, white versus black, whatever man-made ideas that we've tried to separate ourselves based upon is not real in reality. These are all things that don't really change. You know, we're all the same at the end of the day, and we can have differences in our cultures and differences in our beliefs of creation and cosmology, and we can have all kinds of differences. I mean, humanity, the expressions of humanity are infinite, and that is the beauty of the individual, and that is why the individual needs to be celebrated. But the individual needs to express themselves while respecting the rights of others, you know, and if we try to say that, you know, if we think of the creation as a human body and the totality as the human body, and each individual is like a part of the human body, then does it serve you as a one eye to take out the other eye? Can you see better like that? If you take out one of your ears, do you hear better? You can't run if you got only one foot. If you know, it's like spiting your face, you know, for your nose. You're missing the forest for the tree. You know, when we don't, we're shooting ourselves in the foot, literally. You know, it's like we are connected, we are one in creation and on a spiritual level, and this individuation on the physical plane is just you know, a temporary stay so we can experience and express the individual in all these different ways. And it could be a beautiful, creative, cooperative process as opposed to destructive and controlling and chaotic, which is where we're at today. So, you know, where do we go from here? Is it here, there, or nowhere? Are we going to do nothing? Are we going to poof into nothing? Or are we going to go there where it's wrong? Or are we going to go here where it's right? You know, or here where we're at where we're wrong? Or are we going to go there where it's right? And so it's up to us. We have that ability to make that change. when we come together, we will be able to achieve this in a much more rapid, in a much speedier pace, because you know, the system only exists because everyone has accepted these claims, and all of this harm only exists because we've been duped into participating for whatever reason, and we're supporting these things because we've believed things that divide us based on things like skin color or language you speak, or country or region, whatever you were born in. Whatever it is, that if you've believed something that lets you put an entire group of people below you and you think you're above them, you've bought a lie. And if you go and act on that, you're causing harm. So we need to come together. Divide and conquer, again, is a strategy to keep us apart. If we all just stand up and say no, it goes away that quickly. And so we don't need to agree on everything. Again, we can have all kinds of different ideas of creation and cosmology and everything else. We just need to have one foundation, one thing that we agree upon, and that's right and wrong.
Be, no love at all. There will never be no love at all. You got to put aside them segregation, got to put aside them organization, got to put aside them denomination. There will never be no love at all. I mean, there will never be no love at all. So build our love on one foundation. Come, let us build our love on one solid foundation. Got to build our love on one foundation. Or there will never be a single drop of love. You won't have no freedom, Got to come together. We are birds of a feather. We got to come together, 'cause we are birds of a feather. We got to come together, 'cause we are birds of a feather. Or there will never be, Lord of mercy, no love at all. There will never be, no love at all. We also got to realize we are one people. Got to realize that we are one people. We got to realize we are one people. Or there will never be no love at all. There will never be no love at all. Got to build our love on one foundation. We got to build our love on one foundation. Got to build our love on one foundation. Got to build our love on one foundation.
So we got to build our love on one foundation. And what is that foundation? Natural law, the objective right and wrong, the universal, immutable, non-man-made laws that govern the consequences of our actions here. And you know why we can all agree on that? Because we don't get to decide it. We didn't create it. It is a condition, a boundary condition as part of the fabric of nature itself. And so, as Haile Selassie would say, Bob Marley in his song War, where he quotes the speech by Emperor Haile Selassie of Ethiopia, he calls it international morality. And it's because morality is objective. Right and wrong are objective. Some things are always right. We have a right to do anything that we so choose. Man doesn't get to decide that. There are some things that are always wrong, and if we don't do those things, then we are in the right, and we can do whatever we're doing then. And so that is the foundation. That is what we need to build our love upon. That is how we don't have a glass house. We have to come together because we are birds of a feather. We are all one. And so we need to stop trying to cause harm to each other. And if we don't want to cause harm to each other, then we need to take a look at what we're doing and figure out what we are participating in that is causing harm. Because if we weren't causing harm, we would be free. So we know for a fact that there will never be no love at all, not a single drop of love, and you won't have no freedom as long as we don't build our love on natural law, which the law is love, so that is the foundation. As long as we build our love on this foundation of natural law, which is objective principles that are part of nature, we're not going to know freedom. We're not going to have love. We will always be divided. We will continue to experience the condition that some people accept as nature. But this is a condition, and it is changeable. And the only way we're going to truly do that is to realize that we are one people, and that no matter what this segregation based on race or class, these organizations and groups that people join, whether it be political organizations, or think tank organizations or corporations, any of these things don't separate us. These hierarchies within those organizations are not real. They're man-made. The denominations, all these churches, you got Christianity. It's supposedly the Word of God in this Bible, and you got a million different interpretations and explanations of the one thing that's supposed to be a principle. And so we can argue and discuss and disagree on all of those things as long as we have the foundation of right and wrong, because again, we didn't decide those things anyway. So we can just learn these things together, come to understand them, let them be common sense, and then move forward. And the opportunity is boundless from that point. So, I really hope that through this music you were able to really feel the message that Peter Tosh is trying to put forward. And it's not a message of just peace and like let's let things continue on the way they're doing and just have like romantic love. It's about standing up for what is right, standing up for what is true, being moral, doing the work as an individual, and then going out to speak about what is true and the injustices that aren't in alignment with what is true because they are objectively wrong. And it's about bringing people into an understanding so that we can move forward, helping people understand that we all are derived from the same source, that there is only one creator and he created all of creation, and so we are all equal in that. And as we do that, we can start to build something better, and that's not going to be a system or a government. This isn't a socialist or a communist idea. That is the antithesis of everything that is good and real and true and moral, because the communism or socialism just says that the state is actually the thing that has rights and the individuals were just put here to serve that. And that is the complete inversion of what is true and what is right. And so, for anybody who thinks that's the conclusion here, then you're far off from, you're not hearing what I'm saying. Because what we need to do is stand up as individuals, understand right from wrong, be a sovereign, rule ourselves, choose to do what is right because it is right, and not need some master to do it, and not try to dominate others and force them to do what we think needs to be done. I want to also point out that, we talked about natural law all day today, and not once was the words natural law mentioned by Peter Tosh, because this idea, these principles have been conveyed in many different ways throughout the ages. People here call them constitutional rights. Some people call them natural rights. Some people call them inherent rights. Some people just call it liberty. All these ideas have been conveyed all throughout history, and they are the truth. Which is why they ring true in all these traditions, because they are the objective truths, because they're not the man-made ideas and conceptions. It's our understanding of the laws that actually function and govern the physical and spiritual realms that we currently do exist in. And so I'd like to just end with a little bit more words from Peter Tosh, and just kind of reinforce that really what reggae music is the great work. What Peter Tosh was trying to do is the one great work. What he's trying to do is teach everyone that we all are born equal, that we all have rights, and that some actions are rights and some actions are wrong, and that we can't run and hide from that. We will always reap what we sow, so we need to accept that this is reality, and be tough enough to do what is right. And so we'll check out this last clip before we close things up here today.
Reggae music is also a very political kind of music.
So there's a teaching, it's awakening. It's a music that specifically deals with the truth, and it deals with rights. See? And it teaches one of his or her constitutional rights, because each and every man upon this face of earth has a constitutional rights. But so much people's rights have been infringed and victimized and humiliated and discriminated, and all forms of ism infringe people's rights, see? So I who was born in the shitstem and know of the situation, have to sing the music to let the people know who suffer the same similar situation.
So as he said, everyone on this earth has a constitutional right. And as he mentioned in the other clip, it's not some constitutional right written by man. It's a constitutional right by the nature of having a constitution, of being imbued with life. The very nature of having life in this body endows me with the rights of this life and the right to live it as I so choose, so long as I'm not harming anybody else. And all kinds of isms and systems infringe on people's constitutional rights. And so we need to stop supporting these, stop participating in these systems and these institutions that have made it normalized all the things that are upside down, the things that are against creation. The force of involution has somehow become normal. And so as long as that's the case, we need to stand for what is true. We need to stand for what is right, and we need to stand on those principles. And we're currently living in the shitstem, and as another individual who was born in the shitstem and who has finally come to an understanding of the situation, I have a duty to sing the music. And I may not be doing it through music like Peter Tosh is, but I'm going to do it here through presentations and sharing other people's music and ideas over time, so that ideally people can come to this understanding, work this into them, align their own actions, and help to teach others, so that we can stop living in a system of slavery, stop being subjugated and humiliated, and having our natural rights and freedoms infringed upon and thwarted for no reason other than the fact that people lack the courage and the toughness to say no, and to stand up to these immoral things, and to do what's right, even if it means some ridicule or some sort of discomfort with maybe financial resources or whatever it may be. We need to deal with the truth. We need to do what's right. We need to continue to fight until everybody is free. So thank you, everybody, for joining me. I know we went a real long time today, but Peter Tosh, his music and his rhetoric has really influenced me and helped me with my understanding. I wanted to really do him justice and share this music so that everybody can feel it and incorporate this message into them, because he truly understood what was right and what was wrong, and he was very unapologetic about putting that out through his music. And the reason he did that was so people like me and you can hear this music, hear this message, and start to take action. Get up, stand up for your rights, and do what is right. Thank you all. Check me out, lovewisdomfreedom.com, YouTube, Love Wisdom Freedom 93, and on Odyssey at Love Wisdom Freedom. Thank you so much, and have a great night.